Chapter 271. Blood Ape Bloodline. Phew, the second killing halo is finally about to be condensed. After refining the death chi absorb into his body, Yi Chunfeng felt that he would soon be able to cultivate to the second layer of the 8-Sha Azura technique and condense the second killing halo. Once he condensed the second killing halo, his attacking power would increase by 2 times, and a full power attack would be enough to injure an ordinary king. The next morning, Yi Chunfeng and Yu Nikhang left the green bamboo house and arrived at the slaughterhouse once more. After seeing Yi Chunfeng use the wrath of divine punishment and instantly kill Lang Tong, the unfortunate opponents all chose to admit defeat. In less than a morning, Yi Chunfeng's winning streak had reached 81 matches, obtaining a total of 600 slaughter points. Yi Chunfeng, you indeed did not disappoint me. Looks like we'll be able to fight tomorrow. Xiahou Xie, who was wearing a blood-red robe, sat among the crowd and drank a mouthful of blood-red liquid. He looked at Yi Chunfeng with a high battle intent and revealed a demonic smile. With his extraordinary background, he loved to personally destroy peerless geniuses and step on their corpses to reach the peak of martial arts. This was also the reason why he wanted a duel with Yi Chunfeng. He wanted to destroy Yi Chunfeng with his own hands and add a thick stroke to his own martial path experience. Elder Tan, that Yi Chunfeng has already obtained 81 consecutive victories, and no one is willing to fight him anymore. If this continues, he and Xiahou Xie will both obtain the 100 victory emblem. Yi Chunfeng's momentum was unstoppable. When he obtained 81 consecutive victories, someone immediately reported this news to Elder Tan. No one is willing to fight him. Then arrange for our people to go up and give him 99 victories. After witnessing Yi Chunfeng's terrifying talent and strength, Elder Tan knew that it would be very difficult for him to stop him from advancing. So he ordered in a low voice, Yi Chunfeng, Xiahou Xie, I really want to know who will have the last laugh. Elder Tan's deep eyes shone brightly. He was looking forward to the battle between the two of them. Interesting, very interesting. Perhaps we will be able to fight today. Seeing Yi Chunfeng's opponents concede one after another, and seeing Yi Chunfeng's winning streak continue to increase, Xiahou Xie revealed a cold smile. What's going on? Why are they all conceding? I came especially to watch Yi Chunfeng's match. Refund my money. Refund my money. I didn't spend my money to watch him concede. As all of Yi Chunfeng's opponents admitted defeat, the entire spectator stands became noisy. Complaints, insults, and shouts could be heard incessantly. Soon, Yi Chunfeng's winning streak, and so quickly, Yi Chunfeng's winning streak to reach 99 consecutive victories. I'm finally going to aim for 100 victories. I wonder how strong my next opponent will be. Standing proudly in the center of the arena, Yi Chunfeng's heart was as calm as still water as he listened to the surrounding noise. He patiently waited for his final opponent to appear. He had a feeling that the slaughterhouse would not let him obtain the 100 victory emblem so easily. His final opponent was probably not simple. Yi Chunfeng, do you need a rest? I can give you some time to rest. Just as Yi Chunfeng was patiently waiting, Xiahou Xie finished drinking the blood-like liquid in one gulp and slowly stood up. His clanging words were like cannonballs, exploding in everyone's ears. No need. Yi Chunfeng looked at Xiahou Xie, and his pupils immediately shrank into the most dangerous pinholes. He could sense a strong sense of danger from Xiahou Xie's tyrannical eyes. Since that's the case, let's fight. As he spoke, Xiahou Xie leapt up, leaving a blood-red streak of light in the air. With a sharp killing intent, he appeared in the arena at an extremely fast speed. Feeling the killing intent that Xiahou Xie deliberately released, Yi Chunfeng was like a boulder. He stood in place without moving, and there was not the slightest change in expression on his face. My favorite thing in life is to step on the corpses of geniuses. Also, remember my name. I'm Xiahou Xie. Xiahou Xie held the blood-red spear in his hand and pointed it at Yi Chunfeng as he spoke with a high fighting spirit. You're really boring. Hearing Xiahou Xie's arrogant provocation, Yi Chunfeng's heart did not ripple at all as he spoke indifferently. Although Xiahou Xie was very strong, there was still a certain gap between his strength and that of an evil cultivator. Yi Chenfeng did not take him a heart. Yi Chenfeng versus Xiahou Shuiye. This slaughterhouse is really scheming. They actually let these two people with 99 consecutive victories fight at the last moment. I wonder who will be able to step on the other's corpse and obtain the 100 victories emblem. No matter what, this battle will be unprecedentedly exciting. This money was well spent. Looking at the two proud figures standing there, almost everyone's eyes were attracted to them, and the entire stands became noisy. Yi Chenfeng, I'll let you know who is the real king here. As he spoke, Xiahou Shuiye's fighting spirit rose to the peak. An unparalleled fighting spirit spread out like a tide, then spread again and again, attacking Yi Chenfeng's heart. Affected by the fighting spirit released by Xiahou Shuiye, Yi Chenfeng's pupils shrank. The 8-Sha Azura technique involuntarily circulated, and the killing intent accumulated in his blood and bones erupted from his body, instantly tearing apart Xiahou Shuiye's fighting spirit. The previously noisy viewing platform was also affected by Yi Chenfeng's killing intent. The atmosphere was unprecedentedly stifling. Yi Chenfeng, you are indeed a good opponent. Feeling the killing intent released by Yi Chenfeng, Xiahou Shuiye's deep eyes flashed with a cold light. The blood-red spear pierced through the air, piercing towards Yi Chenfeng's chest at an astonishing speed. Shifting shadows. A light flashed under Yi Chenfeng's feet, and he instantly transformed into 9 fast afterimages, dodging Xiahou Shuiye's spear attack. Swish, swish, swish. After Yi Chenfeng dodged the attack, Xiahou Shuiye quickly turned around, instantly creating dozens of spear shadows that enveloped the rapidly dodging Yi Chenfeng. 350,000 kilograms of force, collapsing cloud palm. Unable to dodge, Yi Chenfeng roared. His powerful physical strength poured into his right arm, and an unparalleled cloud-piercing palm light shot out. Wherever it went, the air exploded and the airflow surged. The palm light, which was compressed to the extreme, directly destroyed the incoming spear light. What powerful strength! Feeling the destructive power of the collapsing cloud palm, Xiahou Shuiye's expression changed slightly. The spear, which was filled with explosive power, pierced through the collapsing cloud palm and continued to attack Yi Chenfeng. Spear aura. Feeling the spear aura of Xiahou Shuiye's spear, Yi Chenfeng immediately took out his titanic fault heavenly sword to meet it. A powerful killing aura surged out of the killing halo, continuously increasing Yi Chenfeng's attack power. Buzz! The tip of the sword and spear collided, creating ripples of energy. Dense water ripples appeared in the air. Bam bam! Taking Yi Chenfeng's perfect sword aura head-on, Xiahou Shuiye, who also did not fuse with his spiritual beast, was forced back. The blood and qi in his body churned violently. You're just SOSO. Looking at Xiahou Shuiye, whose breathing was chaotic and hurried, Yi Chenfeng revealed a faint smile and mocked him. Yi Chenfeng, I'll let you know my true strength soon. Xiahou Shuiye sucked in a deep breath and suppressed the surging qi and blood in his body. A blood-red, muscular blood ape appeared behind him. It bared its fangs and let out a hiss. When Xiahou Shuiye fused with the sanguine ape, a powerful bloodline power was emitted from Xiahou Shuiye's body. His strength increased again, almost reaching the level of a level 1 Defiant Beast King. Bloodline power. Xiahou Shuiye actually has the sanguine ape's bloodline flowing in his body. Looks like this match is going to end early. Looking at Xiahou Shuiye, whose sanguine ape's bloodline had been completely activated and whose strength had increased explosively, the spectators on the viewing platform exclaimed. At this moment, no one thought highly of Yi Chenfeng anymore. The development of the match had also been reversed because of Xiahou Shuiye's sanguine ape bloodline. Mobile reading website. Book address. To make it easier for you to read this book next time, you can click on the save button at the bottom to record this book. You will be able to see it the next time you open your bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 272. The ultimate showdown. Yi Chunfeng, just you wait to be ravaged by me. Xiahou Shuya glared with his blood-red eyes as he spoke with a murderous intent. His terrifying, baleful aura made one feel as if their guts were about to explode. What? You're so confident now that you've awakened your blood-ape bloodline? Sensing Xiahou Shuya's explosive increase in strength, Yi Chunfeng remained unmoved. Endless blood light shot out from his body, and a high-pitched dragon's roar rang out, reverberating throughout the 9 heavens. In the next moment, the double-headed Blood Dragon King appeared on Yi Chunfeng's body. Its 3,000-meter-long body hovered above his head. Its terrifying draconic might shocked everyone present, causing the noisy martial arena to become absolutely silent. Many weak martial artists felt the dragon aura emitted by the two-headed Blood Dragon King, and were so scared that their faces turned pale and their breathing became difficult. Gu Dragon. Yi Chunfeng's spiritual beast is actually a two-headed dragon. This is too frightening. I thought that Xiahou Shuya, who possessed the blood-ape bloodline, had a very deep foundation. Who would have thought that Yi Chunfeng's foundation was even deeper than his? I am really looking forward to this battle. Quick, gather 50,000 slaughter points as soon as possible. Once the competition is over, give it to that Yi Chunfeng. When the 10,000 kills sect master saw Yi Chunfeng's spirit beast, the last strand of hope in his heart was shattered. He hurriedly took out his communication bead and urged anxiously. In his opinion, it was impossible for Yi Chunfeng, who had the two-headed Blood Dragon King, to fail. He only wanted to give the slaughter points to Yi Chunfeng as soon as possible and resolve the grudges between them. Yi Chunfeng, you are giving me more and more surprises. But this is for the best. Only by killing a genius like you can I show my strength. After regaining his senses, Xiahou Shuya once again erupted with a powerful battle intent. His blood-ape bloodline was completely activated, and waves of violent energy were released from his body. Heavenly Flood Dragon Spear Art. Piercing out with his spear, Xiahou Shuya's entire body turned into a beam of blood light. The endless spear light gathered into a blood-colored flood dragon, thrusting towards Yi Chunfeng's chest. When Xiahou Shuya executed the Heavenly Flood Dragon Spear Art, Yi Chunfeng instantly fused with the double-headed Blood Dragon King, raising his strength to the half-step Reverse Beast King realm. His sword force was perfected, and he gathered 350,000 gene of force into the titanic Fault Heavenly Sword. Fourth style of slaughter, Savage Blood. A crescent-shaped sword light slashed down, leaving behind a deep sword scar in the air. The sword light was like the gathering of blood, and it directly broke through Xiahou Shuya's Heavenly Flood Dragon Spear Art. Heaven Artifact. That's a heaven artifact in your hand. Sensing the power contained within the titanic Fault Heavenly Sword, Xiahou Shuya's expression finally changed. A solemn look appeared on his face. His spiritual beast was inferior to Yi Chunfeng's, and his physical strength was inferior to Yi Chunfeng's. Now, even his weapon was inferior to Yi Chunfeng's. This made Xiahou Shuya feel pressured for the first time. However, after wandering between life and death for so many years, Xiahou Shuya had an unyielding will. Under such immense pressure, Xiahou Shuya became even more courageous. He raised his speed to the limit, and his lightning-fast spear light continuously attacked Yi Chunfeng, wanting to suppress Yi Chunfeng's attacks. What a fast spear speed! I really don't know how Xiahou Shuya trained his spear. His spear speed is actually so fast. I wonder how Yi Chunfeng is going to resolve Xiahou Shuya's rapid spear light. Once his attacks are suppressed, it will be difficult for him to turn the tables. Seeing Yi Chunfeng being enveloped by Xiahou Shuya's continuous spear light, many of the spectators who were optimistic about him broke out in a cold sweat. Yi Chunfeng, the match can end now. After forcing Yi Chunfeng to the edge of the arena, Xiahou Shuya wanted to defeat him in one go. As for killing him, Xiahou Shuya no longer had any extravagant hopes. Not necessarily. Yi Chunfeng's eyes narrowed. A vast killing aura surged out from the killing halo, doubling Yi Chunfeng's attack power. A sword light that stole the surrounding brilliance shot out from the titanic, fault heavenly sword. Eternal night. As the sword pierced out, the entire arena seemed to have turned into night. Other than a rapidly flying sword light, nothing else could be seen. TSK, TSK. The spear shadows that enveloped Yi Chunfeng were torn apart by the unstoppable eternal night sword light. The terrifying sword light struck the spear in Xiahou Shui's hand at a speed that was hard to see with the naked eye. The powerful recoil caused his arm to go numb, and he was forced to retreat. He almost lost his grip on the blood-colored spear. After breaking through Xiahou Shui's fierce attack, Yi Chunfeng immediately counterattacked. A faint light flashed under his feet, and his entire body twisted as he rapidly closed in on Xiahou Shui. Blood flood dragon, shattering the sea. As Yi Chunfeng pressed forward, Xiahou Shui let out an explosive roar. The spear in his hand turned into a blood flood dragon that bared its fangs and brandished its claws. Boundless killing intent and bloodlight intertwined as if doomsday had arrived. Massacre 4th style, Demon Slayer. Yi Chunfeng did not dodge Xiahou Shui's attack. Instead, he slashed out with the Demon Slayer sword light to meet it head-on. As the two exchanged blows faster and faster, their attacks became more and more intense. A powerful energy storm formed in the martial arena, and terrifying explosions rang out incessantly like thunder. Xiahou Shui had used all his abilities, but he was still unable to suppress Yi Chunfeng. He knew that he could only use his ultimate trump card, the innate ability of his bloodline ape. Otherwise, if the battle dragged on, he would very likely be defeated. Berserk. The bloodline ape surged within Xiahou Shui's body as waves of berserk energy erupted from his body. After using the innate ability of the bloodline ape, Xiahou Shui's entire body grew stronger, filled with explosive power. His strength had also increased greatly, allowing him to nearly possess the strength of a rank 1 beast king. Die! Xiahou Shui's eyes were bloodshot as he let out a roar. He thrust out his spear as fast as lightning. His berserk soul power was like a whirlpool that revolved around the tip of the spear, stirring up the air and leaving behind a deep scar. Massacre 4th style, Remnant Blood. Although the berserk Xiahou Shui was very frightening, Yi Chunfeng still did not dodge his attack. Instead, he met the attack head-on with his most powerful stance. The power of slaughter, the perfect sword aura, and the strength of 700,000 Jin fused together, forming a thick blood-red color. The blood-red sword light covered the entire sky as it smashed forward like a bloody storm. Rumble. The two powerful forces collided, forming a destructive force. Like a surging tide, it shook the entire arena's hard ground until it was covered with crisscrossing cracks. Too strong. These two are too strong. The power they just erupted with has probably reached the level of a rank 1 beast king. Compared to Xiahou Shui, that Yi Chunfeng is simply a freak. He's only a rank 2 profound beast ancestor, yet he can erupt with the power of a peerless king. Even to massacre Inner City, it's hard to find such a peerless genius. Seeing the intense exchange between the two, the spectators were completely convinced by their strength. Instant kill sword. Relying on the defense of the Blood Dragon King armor to resist the destructive storm, Yi Chunfeng forcefully stabilized his body. His entire body immediately fused with the gigantic fault heavenly sword, turning into an extremely thin sword light that pierced towards Xiahou Shui with astonishing speed. Xiahou Shui didn't expect Yi Chunfeng's sword to be so fast. He didn't dodge, and a deep sword wound appeared on his chest. A large amount of blood spurted out uncontrollably, splattering on the ground and staining the ground. After injuring Xiahou Shui with a single sword strike, Yi Chunfeng followed up with another attack. Wave after wave of attacks completely suppressed Xiahou Shui, exhausting the bloodline power he had activated. Once Xiahou Shui's bloodline power was exhausted, he would be powerless to reverse the situation. Mobile reading site. Book address. To make it easier for you to read it next time, you can click on the Save button below to record your reading record. You'll be able to see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 273. Xiahou Xuya dead. Blood 8 Bloodline Ignite. His attacks were suppressed, and the injury on his chest was getting worse and worse. Xiahou Xuya's eyes were bloodshot as he burned the power of his bloodline at all costs to sustain the consumption of the Berserk skill. Ancient Profound Ice Freeze. At the crucial moment, Yi Qinfeng suddenly released the power of the Ancient Profound Ice, freezing Xiahou Xuya's legs and interrupting his attack rhythm. Then, Yi Qinfeng wielded the titanic Fault Celestial Sword and unleashed a force of 350,000 Jin, knocking away Xiahou Xuya's spear. His left hand aimed at Xiahou Xuya's chest and struck out with a collapsing cloud palm. Boom! The collapsing cloud palm struck Xiahou Xuya's chest with a force of 350,000 Jin. The sound of bones breaking rang out as his entire chest caved in. A large amount of blood spurted out from his mouth. He's injured. Xiahou Xuya was injured by Yi Qinfeng. This pinnacle battle is basically over. That Xiahou Xuya is probably powerless to reverse the situation. If he hadn't met Yi Qinfeng, that Xiahou Xuya would have been one of the most famous geniuses in the Slaughter City in the past decade. Unfortunately, he met Yi Qinfeng, who is even more monstrous than him. Seeing Xiahou Xuya's chest caved in and blood spurting out from his mouth, the spectators cried out in alarm. Many people felt pity for him. Elder Tan, can you tell their origins? On the main spectator stand of the Slaughter City, Elder Tan sat with a tall middle-aged man wearing a black robe with cloud patterns. There was a clear scar at the corner of his eye, and his body emitted a fierce killing intent. This middle-aged man was the same as Elder Tan, an elder of the Slaughter City. However, he came from the inner city, so his strength and authority were much higher than Elder Tan's. Xiahou Xuya should be from the 6th rank House Xiahou of the Xingluo continent. However, I can't figure out Yi Qinfeng's background. What he just used seems to be the 4 styles of slaughter from Xingluo Sky City. Perhaps he's from the 8th rank House Xingluo Sky City. The knowledgeable Elder Tan recognized Yi Qinfeng's 4 styles of slaughter and guessed. Xingluo Sky City. The middle-aged man frowned slightly and said, "Didn't the geniuses of Xingluo Sky City not come to my Slaughter City? His identity is just my own guess." Perhaps he had other opportunities, Elder Tan said thoughtfully. He was becoming more and more curious about Yi Qinfeng's identity. Xiahou Xuya, your strength isn't that great either. If you don't have any other trump cards, then this match is over. Yi Qinfeng, who had the absolute advantage, revealed a trace of a proud smile as he looked at the pale-faced Xiahou Xia, who was vomiting blood. Yi Qinfeng, don't be complacent. I won't admit defeat until the very last moment. Xiahou Xuya took a deep breath and said with an ugly expression. He didn't think that Yi Qinfeng would be so difficult to deal with. He had activated his Sanguine 8 bloodline and used the Berserk skill, but he was still injured. What? You still don't want to accept your fate? Since that's the case, I'll beat you until you accept your fate. As he spoke, Yi Qinfeng held the gigantic Fault Heavenly Sword in his hand and continued to attack Yi Futian like a tidal wave. He kept attacking Yi Futian and worsened his injuries. Slowly, the Sanguine 8 bloodline in Xiahou Xuya's body began to fade as his injuries worsened. The Berserk skill that increased his attack power also slowly disappeared. This made his heart turn cold. No, I won't lose. I'm destined to reach the peak of the martial Dao. I won't fail here, and I definitely won't lose to him. Xiahou Xia clenched his teeth and kept shouting in his heart. His face revealed a deranged expression. Sanguine 8 bloodline, burn it all. When Xiahou Xia was forced back by Yi Qinfeng's sword, he couldn't hold on any longer. He let out a crazy roar and burned his Sanguine 8 bloodline to the greatest extent in a final struggle. Man and spear as one, blood stains the blue sky. His Sanguine 8 bloodline was almost completely burned, and Xiahou Xuya reached the peak of his strength. 70% of his spear aura was completely unleashed. His entire body fused with the blood-red spear. dyeing the space as he stabbed at Yi Chen-feng. Mysterious, ancient cold ice, green spiritual fire, purple spiritual thunder, fuse. Xiahou Shui's man and weapon as one pierced out. Yi Chen-feng didn't use the 7 swords of judgment. Instead, he controlled the 3 spiritual items to surge out of his body and quickly fuse them. Wrath of divine punishment. Yi Chen-feng roared, and the destructive power formed by the fusion of the 3 spiritual items swept out. It was like the power of divine punishment, distorting a large area of space and creating endless ripples. It instantly swallowed Xiahou Shui, who was man and weapon as one. It's that move again. This power is too terrifying. When the spectators saw Yi Chen-feng use Wrath of Divine Punishment, they were stunned once again, and their souls trembled. Boom! It was as if divine thunder had exploded between heaven and earth. Endless torrents of energy annihilated the entire battle arena. The terrifying power directly collapsed the extremely sturdy battle arena, causing the slaughter arena to shake. Fortunately, Elder Tan and the others were prepared. They activated the energy barrier in time, blocking the destructive impact from the collision of the 2 great energies and preventing innocent casualties in the spectator stands. Even so, the activated energy barrier still trembled violently from the impact of the tyrannical energy, and spiderweb-like cracks appeared on its surface. Just as everyone's minds were shaken and they looked in horror at the destructive storm, a mangled figure fell out of the destructive storm. He crashed heavily into the energy barrier and fell to the ground. This miserable figure was Xiahou Shui. Xiahou Shui, he actually didn't die. What tenacious vitality. One is bound to have good fortune after surviving a great disaster. Although Xiahou Shui has been defeated, if he can pull himself together, he might become even more terrifying. Xiahou Shui, you've lost. Yi Chen-feng, who was covered in blood and whose aura was chaotic, walked out of the destructive storm. He looked arrogantly at Xiahou Shui, who was unable to accept the fact that he had lost, and spoke in a low voice. Yi Chen-feng had also suffered heavy injuries after using Wrath of Divine Punishment to defeat Xiahou Shui. His soul power was also almost completely depleted. However, in the process of defeating Xiahou Shui, he had hidden his beast soul form and the 7 swords of judgment. In the chaotic slaughter city, it was extremely dangerous to reveal all of one's trump cards. Only by not letting others see through one's true strength would one be able to live longer. Xiahou Shui glared at Yi Chen-feng with his blood-red eyes and said unwillingly, Yi Chen-feng, don't be too happy. I'll definitely kill you in 3 years at most and avenge my humiliation. Do you think I'll give you the chance to take revenge? Yi Chen-feng's lips curled up slightly as he spoke with a murderous intent. He definitely wouldn't allow a potential threat to continue growing. He'd already sentenced Xiahou Shui, who'd wanted to kill him, to death. I'm from House Xiahou of the Xingluo continent. There are also peerless kings from my house in the inner city. If you dare kill me, I guarantee that my house won't let you off. Xiahou Shui snorted coldly and spoke without fear. He didn't believe that Yi Chen-feng would dare kill him. Is that so? Then I'll be waiting. As he spoke, a sharp sword light flashed in front of Xiahou Shui's eyes. Under his terrified gaze, his head was chopped off. Large amounts of blood sprayed onto the ground like a fountain. The top genius of House Xiahou, Xiahou Shui, had fallen. Mobile reading site. Book address. To facilitate your next reading, you can click on the Save button at the bottom to record your reading history. You'll be able to see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blogs, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 274. The second level of the 8 slaughtering Azura method. What a dense aura of death. More than 10,000 people must have died at Xiahou Shui's hands. Otherwise, he wouldn't have accumulated such a terrifying aura of death in his body. A powerful aura of death emanated from Xiahou Shui's corpse. When Yi Chen-feng absorbed this terrifying aura of death into his body, the 8 slaughtering Azura method began to circulate involuntarily, quickly forming a second halo of slaughter. Yi Chen-feng felt that he would be able to form a second halo of slaughter in 3 days at the latest, doubling his attack power. Elder Tan, I think it's very likely that Yi Chen-feng came from Xingluo Sky City. The middle-aged man beside Elder Tan spoke in a low voice, his expression grave when he saw that Yi Chen-feng had ignored the threat of House Xiaohou behind Xiaohou Shuya and killed Xiaohou Shuya like the autumn wind sweeping away fallen leaves. Although Slaughter City was very strong and only a hair's breadth away from a 7th-ranked sacred land, the difference between them and an 8th-ranked sacred land, Xingluo Sky City, was like heaven and earth. It could be said that if the Starnet Sky City wanted to annihilate the City of Slaughter, the City of Slaughter would be annihilated overnight. There aren't many factions on the Xingluo continent that can ignore House Xiaohou. Perhaps he really did come from Xingluo Sky City. Elder Tan took a deep breath and said, "We must report this matter to the king as soon as possible and take precautions. Offending Xingluo Sky City is no small matter. I've already won 100 victories. Can you give me a 100 victories badge?" Just as Elder Tan and Elder Tan were conversing with each other, Yi Chen-feng, who was as straight as a steel spear and exuding a fierce aura, took Xiaohou Shuya's belongings, an exquisite universe ring, and spoke in a deep voice. "Yi Chen-feng, here's your 100 victories badge, a stone of slaughter, and 1,200 slaughter points." Elder Tan personally handed over a hexagonal dark gold badge with the word 100 engraved on it, an egg-sized slaughter stone, and 1,200 slaughter points to Yi Chen-feng. "Elder, may I know what special uses this 100 victories emblem has?" Yi Chen-feng asked as he took the ice-cold 100 victories emblem. Elder Tan looked deeply at Yi Chen-feng as he said, "With the 100 victories emblem, apart from obtaining an extra 800 slaughter points, you will also be able to enjoy a 10% discount when making transactions in the inner-city shops." "Thank you." After Yi Chen-feng expressed his gratitude, he pinned the 100 victories badge on his clothes, together with the moon raiment, who had obtained 37 consecutive victories. They left the killing field that was filled with the thick smell of blood. Congratulations to young Master Yi for obtaining the 100 victories emblem. As soon as Yi Chen-feng and Yu Nikhang left the killing field, the 10,000 Kills Gang leader and the others who had been waiting outside for a long time immediately went up to greet them. The 10,000 Kills Gang leader had a charming smile on his face as he congratulated Yi Chen-feng, not putting on the airs of a gang leader at all. "Have you gathered the 50,000 slaughter points?" Yi Chen-feng asked coldly as he looked at the groveling 10,000 Kills sect leader. I've gathered it," the terrified 10,000 Kills Gang leader hurriedly said. He gave the 50,000 slaughter points and 2 bottles of milky jade to Yi Chen-feng, begging for his forgiveness. "All right, the grudges between us are written off. You can all scram now." After he finished speaking, Yi Chen-feng no longer paid any attention to the 10,000 Kills Gang leader and the others. He left with Yu Nikhang and returned to the green bamboo residence. "Nikhang, these 2 bottles of milky jade are for you. Once you break through to the 5th grade mystic beast ancestor realm, we'll go slaughter in the inner city." Yi Chen-feng gave the 2 precious bottles of milky jade to Yu Nikhang. "I'll be able to break through in 3 days at the latest." After fighting in the killing field for several days, Yu Nikhang, who had won 37 matches in a row, was already on the verge of breaking through. With these 2 bottles of milky jade, she was confident that she could break through to the 5th grade mystic beast ancestor realm within 3 days. While Yu Nikhang was using the milky jade to cultivate, Yi Chen-feng also entered a state of cultivation. He repeatedly revolved the 8 Sha Azura skill, refining the death energy in his body and condensing the second killing halo. At the same time, Elder Tan and Elder Su appeared in an ancient castle-shaped black castle in the Killing Field inner city. They were greeting the Master of Killing Field, the King of Killing. "His Majesty is in closed-door cultivation. Why are you looking for him?" A thin elder in a long black robe asked coldly. His face was as sharp as a knife, and there was a large amount of killing energy gathered around him. Reporting to Grand Elder, A genius disciple from Xingluo Sky City has appeared in Killing Field, Elder Tan reported. Are you sure? According to our agreement with Xingluo Sky City, they shouldn't have sent their disciples to train in Killing Field. The Grand Elder, whose strength and authority were second only to the King of Killing in Killing Field, furrowed his brows and asked in a low voice. We're not very sure, but the sole skill that person used seemed to be Xingluo Sky City's 4 killing styles, Elder Tan reported truthfully. Elder Tan reported honestly. He also told Elder Tan about how Yi Chunfeng killed Xiahou Shuya and obtained 100 victories. 4 killing styles, spiritual beast, 2-headed dragon. After listening to Elder Tan's recount, the King of Killing's brows furrowed even more. He paced back and forth in the hall, and the atmosphere was so oppressive that it was difficult to breathe. After pondering for a moment, the first elder ordered, "All right, I understand. All of you can go back." "Yes, Grand Elder." Elder Tan and Elder Su obeyed and left quickly with their heads lowered. "Shadow, what do you think about this matter?" Just as Elder Tan and Elder Su left, the Grand Elder looked at a dark corner of the hall and asked, "It's hard to say. I need to investigate that person's identity personally before I can make a conclusion." A man in a long black robe that covered his entire body and revealed only a pair of dark eyes appeared in front of the Grand Elder like a ghost. He spoke in a cold voice. Shadow's identity in Killing Field was very special. Other than the King of Killing, there were only a few people in Killing Field. The others didn't know of his existence. The Grand Elder nodded and said, "Yes, I'll leave the investigation to you." He was still very confident in Shadow's ability. "I hope that person isn't a genius disciple from Xingluo Sky City. Otherwise, he might ruin the king's plan. However, if he isn't a genius disciple from Xingluo Sky City, we might be able to obtain something unexpected from him." The Grand Elder's eyes flickered with an ominous glint as he said viciously. Time passed day by day. After nearly 3 days of cultivation, Yi Chunfeng finally refined all the death aura in his body and condensed the second killing halo. As expected, my attack power has increased by 2 times. When Yi Chunfeng tried to fuse the killing power contained in the 2 killing halos, he felt that his attack power had increased by 2 times. If he encountered a genius like Xiahou Shuya again, he would be able to kill him even without using the wrath of divine punishment. I wonder what kind of items Xiahou Shuya left behind. Yi Chunfeng took out one of Xiahou Shuya's belongings, a precious universe ring. He forcefully tore open the remnant within the ring and released his soul force into it. 700 slaughter points, a top-grade Earth artifact, and more than 30 Earth-level soul pellets, in 1,000 high-grade soul crystals. At the end of the inspection, Yi Chunfeng unexpectedly obtained 1,000 high-grade soul crystals from Xiahou Shuya's items. After storing Xiahou Shuya's items into his own universe ring, Yi Chunfeng slowly circulated the soul-devouring art. Not long after, a powerful aura spread out from the inner room. After refining 1.5 bottles of jade essence, Yunichang's strength finally increased by another step. She broke through the bottleneck and broke through to level 5 Mystic Beast Ancestor. It's time to slaughter in the inner city. Both he and Yu Nikhang had increased their strength, so the two of them did not waste any time in the outer city. The next morning, the two of them left the Green Bamboo residence. With their respective identity tokens, they successfully entered the inner city, where the killing aura was even denser and more dangerous. Mobile reading website. Book address. To make it easier for you to read this book next time, you can click on the Save button at the bottom to record this book. You will be able to see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 275. The two of them walked into the massacre inner city, which was filled with an even more powerful aura of slaughter. There were very few trees, and many ancient buildings gave off a sense of vicissitudes. Yi Chunfeng's sharp senses suddenly detected a faintly discernible soul power sweeping over his body. "What's wrong, Chunfeng?" Yu Nikhang, wearing a bright red dress and light makeup, exuded an enchanting charm. She noticed that Yi Chunfeng's complexion was a bit off and softly asked, "It's nothing. Let's first rent a cultivation room." Yi Chunfeng shook his head. He did not tell her that someone was secretly spying on them. The slaughter inner city was different from the outer city. There were many cultivation rooms in the inner city that could increase one's cultivation speed. As long as one had slaughter points, they could rent them. Yu Nikhang nodded. She intimately hugged Yi Chunfeng's arm and walked towards the inner city that gave off an extremely oppressive feeling. Just as Yi Chunfeng and Yu Nikhang left, a black-robed figure that seemed to blend in with the darkness walked out. After glancing at their departing backs, his body flickered and he disappeared. As expected of the slaughter inner city, there are truly many experts in the city. After entering the slaughter inner city, Yi Chunfeng discovered that the wide streets were filled with experts with extraordinary talent. Among them, there were even two that were stronger than Xiahou Shuiya. They were suspected to be on the same level as the evil path experts. As for the sexy and enchanting Yu Nikhang, she easily stole the gazes of all the males on the streets. If it weren't for the fact that the slaughter inner city strictly forbade killing on the streets, these people with lofty ambitions might have immediately attacked and snatched Yu Nikhang away. Feeling the burning gazes all around her, Yu Nikhang did not feel the slightest bit uncomfortable. Like a proud princess, she hugged Yi Chunfeng's arm and walked forward. Yi Chunfeng and Yu Nikhang did not walk for long before they saw a pitch black inn in the distance. It occupied an extremely large area, and martial artists were constantly entering and exiting it. They walked in. "Hello, would you like to rent a cultivation room?" Yi Chunfeng and Shermu had just entered the cultivation inn when a tall, fair-skinned young woman walked out. She wore a white cheongsam with lotus roots and had an exquisite figure. Her every frown and smile was filled with a myriad of charm. She asked in a pleasant voice. When she saw the victory emblem on Yi Chunfeng's clothes, her charming face immediately revealed a look of awe. A person who could obtain the 100 Victories emblem in the Massacre Outer City was no small matter. He was definitely not someone she could offend. "We want to rent an advanced cultivation room. Do you have one?" Yi Chunfeng asked softly. "The two of you came at the right time. There's a high-grade training room available today." The Cheongsam woman revealed a charming smile. She said in a soft voice, "The high-grade training room costs 100 slaughter points per day. Sir has the 100 victory badge, so he can enjoy a 10% discount. I wonder how long you two would like to rent it." "Let's rent it for a month first." Yi Chunfeng, who had nearly 70,000 slaughter points, happily paid 2,700 slaughter points. "Sir, miss, please follow me." The Cheongsam woman's eyes brightened as she saw Yi Chunfeng being so generous. If it weren't for Yu Nikhang being so beautiful that she couldn't help but sigh at her own inferiority, she would have already thrown herself into her arms. The Cheongsam woman brought Yi Chunfeng and Shermu to an independent high-grade training room and softly said, "Sir, miss, I won't disturb your rest. If there's anything else you need, you can look for me at any time." After she finished speaking, the Cheongsam woman gave Yi Chunfeng a flirtatious wink. Then, she swayed her sexy waist and slowly left. What a rich spiritual energy, what a great pressure. Walking into the well-equipped high-grade training room, Yi Chunfeng was surprised to find that the spiritual energy here was so rich that it nearly materialized. Moreover, the pressure here was so great that it could stimulate one's body's potential and increase one's cultivation efficiency. This is truly worthy of being a high-grade training room that costs 100 slaughter points a day. If I cultivate here, I will definitely be able to achieve twice the results with half the effort. Yi Chunfeng was very satisfied with this high-grade training room. He was also filled with anticipation towards the other cultivation resources of Slaughter City. This was also why Slaughter City was so perilous and abnormally dangerous, yet attracted all sorts of talented martial artists to come here. With such a rich supply of cultivation resources, Slaughter City was absolutely a paradise for cultivators. But the premise was that one had to be able to leave here alive. "Let's go, Nikhang. Let's go to the treasure pavilions of Slaughter City and see if there are any rare treasures we can exchange for." Yi Chen-feng suggested in a soft voice. He left the training room with Yu Niking. After asking around, they arrived at the largest treasure pavilion in Slaughter City, the Heavenly Treasure Pavilion. Heavenly Treasure Pavilion, what an imposing name. As Yi Chen-feng saw the 3 words written on the ancient wooden plaque, he immediately felt a grand and ancient aura wash over him. The history of the Heavenly Treasure Pavilion is probably over 10,000 years old. Yi Chen-feng muttered to himself. Just as Yi Chen-feng walked into the somewhat noisy Heavenly Treasure Pavilion, his sharp soul perception once again detected a vague soul scanning him. It's him again. Sensing that this vague soul was exactly the same as when he entered the city, Yi Chen-feng was basically certain that he was being followed. This person should be a master of Slaughter City. I have to be extra careful. Yi Chen-feng thought in his heart, secretly becoming vigilant. What would the 2 of you like to buy? I can recommend something to the 2 of you. At this time, a green-robed man walked up and respectfully asked, Does your Heavenly Treasure Pavilion sell the 1,000-year blood peach or the blood soul grass? Yi Chen-feng collected his thoughts and asked. He wanted to first gather the materials to refine the baptizing marrow pill. I'm sorry, young master, the Heavenly Treasure Pavilion doesn't sell the 2 great natural treasures you mentioned. The green-robed man shook his head and said, No. Yi Chen-feng revealed a disappointed expression. The natural treasures that my Heavenly Treasure Pavilion sells are all in this album. The 2 of you can flip through it and see if there's anything you like. The green-robed man handed Yi Chen-feng an exquisite album and said, 7-star grass, sky blue flower, 1,000-year fire spirit mushroom. Yi Chen-feng didn't feel much interest when he looked at the spiritual objects of heaven and earth in the book. However, when he flipped to the end, his increasingly disappointed eyes lit up. A matured cloud horse. Looking at the album, there was a stock shaped like a horse with a pair of fleshy wings on its back. Its entire body was snow white, as if it was made of jade, and he immediately revealed a look of pleasant surprise. The cloud horse could be said to be a first-class natural treasure in the world. Legend had it that it had the miraculous effect of bringing the dead back to life. It was also a necessary ingredient to refine a heaven-level soul pill. It was very precious. Among the soul fragments of the God-Eater brain, there was a kind of 3-aperture heavenly pill that used the cloud horse as the main ingredient to refine. However, the price of the cloud horse was also frighteningly high. It required 60,000 slaughter points. Just as Yi Chen-feng decided to buy the cloud horse at all costs, 3 men in gorgeous clothes with a fierce aura walked in. Their eyes directly locked onto Yi Chen-feng and the green-robed man. And, feeling that someone's aura had locked onto him, Yi Chen-feng frowned slightly and immediately turned his head. Looking at the gloomy faces of the 3 people slowly walking over, he felt suspicious. It seemed that the 3 people had come for him. Could it be because of him? Remember the URL. Sandwich Chinese Network. Chapter 276. Xiaohou Family's Fury. What a pretty girl. Kid, I'll give you 100 slaughter points. Give her to us. The middle-aged man, who was wearing a long robe woven with golden silk, looked at the moon raiment with a fervent gaze and said domineeringly, Scram. Yi Chen-feng didn't expose the 3 of them. A powerful, murderous aura emitted from his body as he shouted, Mother ***, you dare scold me? Do you know who the 3 of us are? The golden-robed man's face sank as he said angrily, I'll count to 3. If you don't scram, don't blame me for being impolite. Yi Chen-feng warned with a gloomy face. If it wasn't for the Slaughter Inner City's prohibition against killing on the streets, the 3 of them would have been beheaded. What a big tone. Do you believe that I won't cripple you? The golden-robed man threatened with a gloomy face. 1, 2. Kid, don't think that you can be fearless just because the Slaughter Inner City prohibits private fights. Let me tell you, the Slaughter Inner City's rules are useless against my Wu family. We can crush you as easily as crushing an ant. Seeing that Yi Chen-feng didn't give him any face, the golden-robed man's heart immediately burned with rage. He angrily warned. The Wu family was one of the 3 major families in the Slaughter Inner City. They relied on the Slaughter King. No matter if it was strength or authority, The 10,000 killer gang couldn't compare to them. Just as he was about to teach Yi Chunfeng a lesson, Yi Chunfeng condensed 2 killing halos on the count of 3. He didn't restrain his killing intent at all as he released blood and bones, enveloping the 3 of them. At this moment, Yi Chunfeng was like a lone wolf that had been hiding for a long time. He bared his fangs, and his killing intent was awe-inspiring. The killing intent gushing out from his body made people feel as if their liver and guts were about to explode. Goo! Feeling Yi Chunfeng's killing intent, the Golden Robe Man and the other 2 were so scared that their bodies trembled. Their words were stuck in their throats, and they couldn't shout. Just as the 3 of them were intimidated by Yi Chunfeng's killing intent, 3 silver needles brimming with soul power appeared on Yi Chunfeng's fingertips. In a flash, they broke through their defenses and pierced into their lower abdomens. In the next moment, the 3 of them felt a sharp pain in their lower abdomens. The soul power contained within the silver needles had stimulated their bladder meridians. An unbearable urge to urinate hit them, causing their bodies to tremble. Endless streams of yellow water instantly soaked through their pants and flowed down their trousers to the ground. An unpleasant smell of urine filled the air. Yu Nikhang covered her delicate nose and looked at them as if she was looking at a monster. She screamed, "Ah, you guys peed in your pants in public. Is there something wrong with your bodies? It's so smelly." Yu Nichang's scream immediately attracted the attention of everyone in the Heavenly Treasure Pavilion. Many pairs of astonished gazes shot over. F***, I really pissed my pants on the street. The 3 of them seemed to be from the Wu clan. The Wu clan's face has been completely lost by the 3 of them. Hearing the waves of ridicule from all around, the 3 of them were so embarrassed that they wanted to dig a hole and hide in it. "You're courting death." The 3 of them couldn't hold back the anger in their hearts after being plotted against. With a roar, they pounced toward Yi Chunfeng like 3 enraged tigers. Extreme purple spiritual lightning, break. When the 3 of them got close to Yi Chunfeng, the extremely destructive extreme purple spiritual lightning spewed out of Yi Chunfeng's body. It turned into boundless lightning and bombarded the 3 of them at close range. Boom, boom, boom. Deafening sounds of thunder rang out as the 3 of them from the Wu clan were directly destroyed by the extreme purple spiritual lightning. The terrifying remaining power of the lightning ruthlessly bombarded the 3 of them, sending them flying. They landed heavily on the ground, and large amounts of blood flowed out from their bodies. "Stop, all of you stop." At this moment, an angry roar rang out as a black-robed elder with a vigorous aura appeared in the hall of the Celestial Treasure Pavilion. Absolute King. The appearance of the black-robed elder caused Yi Chunfeng's eyebrows to twitch slightly. From the aura that the elder emitted, he was definitely an absolute king. Don't you know that private fights are prohibited in the inner city? Why did you injure people in the Celestial Treasure Pavilion? The black-robed elder stared coldly at Yi Chunfeng and loudly questioned him. The 3 of them attacked first. "I was just defending myself. If Senior doesn't believe me, you can ask the others." Yi Chunfeng didn't fear the black-robed elder's ferocious gaze as he spoke neither arrogantly nor humbly. No, it's not like that. He plotted against us first, and we attacked out of anger." The 3 of them covered their injured bodies as they scrambled up from the ground and defended themselves loudly. "No matter what the reason is, you violated the Massacre Inner City's rules." Yes, the 100 Victories badge. Just as the black-robed elder was about to teach them a lesson, he noticed the 100 Victories badge hanging on Yi Chunfeng's left shoulder. His expression changed slightly. "You just entered the Massacre Inner City?" the black-robed elder asked in a low voice. "Yes." Yi Chunfeng nodded. "Forget it. Since you just entered the city, I'll let this go. However, if this happens again, no one will be able to save you." After confirming Yi Chunfeng's identity, the black-robed elder immediately recalled the first elder's warning, and his ferocious aura gradually dissipated. With that, the black-robed elder turned around and left without hesitation. Seeing the black-robed elder's sudden change in attitude, everyone present was dumbfounded. The 3 of them who had suffered a great loss and were heavily injured didn't dare to provoke him again. They scrambled away. Just as the three of them left the Celestial Treasure Pavilion in a sorry state and were on their way back to the Wu family, an extremely sharp black light flashed in front of their eyes and chopped off their heads. Large amounts of blood sprayed out from their corpses like fountains, dyeing the ground red. Because the distance was too far, Yi Chanfeng, who had been staying in the Celestial Treasure Pavilion, didn't know that the three of them had died. "Now, can I buy this cloud horse?" Yi Chanfeng asked in a low voice. "Of course you can. Sir has the 100 Victories badge, so you can enjoy a 10% discount. We will sell the cloud horse to Sir for 54,000 slaughter points." The blue-clothed young man was also a little confused by the black-robed elder's sudden change in attitude. However, he was even more polite to Yi Chanfeng. He took the initiative to give Yi Chanfeng a discount and sold the precious cloud horse to him. After buying the cloud horse, Yi Chanfeng spent 13,000 slaughter points to buy a large amount of materials for refining offensive runes, as well as a top-grade earth-level soul pill for Yu Nikhang to consolidate her cultivation. "Sigh. As expected, I don't have enough slaughter points." Although Yi Chanfeng had a good harvest in the Celestial Treasure Pavilion, he only had 900 slaughter points left. In desperation, he took out nearly 100 mid-rank Earth-level weapons, 10 high-rank Earth-level weapons, and 3 demon crystal bones to sell, earning a total of 24,000 slaughter points. "Let's go, Nikhang. Let's go back." After the transaction, Yi Chanfeng didn't stay for long. He left the Celestial Treasure Pavilion with Yu Nikhang and returned to the Advanced Cultivation Room to cultivate in seclusion. While Yi Chanfeng was cultivating in the Advanced Cultivation Room, the Grand Elder of Slaughter City ordered someone to inform the Xiaohou experts in the inner city of the news of Xiaohou Shuya's death. He wanted to use them to probe Yi Chanfeng's true background. Xiaohou Shuya was one of the most outstanding geniuses of House Xiaohou's younger generation. After learning of his death, the experts of House Xiaohou were enraged. They burned precious transmission glyphs to send the news back to House Xiaohou while searching for Yi Chanfeng's whereabouts in Slaughter City. They wanted to kill Yi Chanfeng and avenge Xiaohou Shuya, one of House Xiaohou's top geniuses. Mobile reading site. Book address. To make it easier for you to read this book next time, you can click on the save button at the bottom to record your reading history. You will see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 277. Tower of Slaughter, Green Spirit Fire, Refine. In order to further increase its attacking power, Yi Chanfeng took out 6 slaughter stones filled with slaughter power and released the green spirit fire to refine them into the gigantic Fault Celestial Sword, increasing its quality. He then added 81 offensive runes into the gigantic Fault Celestial Sword, increasing its attacking power. Time flew by, and 10 days had passed. Under the continuous refining of the green spirit fire, all 6 slaughter stones had been refined into the gigantic Fault Celestial Sword. After fusing with the 6 slaughter stones, the gigantic Fault Celestial Sword had become even heavier, reaching 20,000 pounds. The power it contained was even more terrifying, almost reaching the level of a mid-grade heaven item. Offensive runes fuse. The gigantic Fault Celestial Sword's quality had been greatly increased. Yi Chanfeng immediately took out the rune materials he had exchanged from the Celestial Treasure Pavilion and refined them into offensive runes, fusing them into the gigantic Fault Celestial Sword to further increase its attacking power. While Yi Chanfeng was refining the gigantic Fault Celestial Sword, Yu Nikhang had consumed the remaining half bottle of jade milk and the extreme grade earth-level soul pellet that Yi Chanfeng had exchanged for her. She had stabilized her level 5 Mystic Beast Grandmaster cultivation and started to cultivate her family's inherited soul art, sky-dancing demonic art. What a terrifying demonic chi! Could Nichang's family be demonic cultivators? Looking at Yu Nikhang, who was covered in a large amount of black demonic chi, Yi Chanfeng started to guess Yu Nichang's identity. However, regardless of whether Yu Nikhang was a demonic cultivator or a Taoist cultivator, it would not affect their relationship. After another 10 days, Yi Chunfeng had successfully refined 81 offensive runes into the gigantic Fault Celestial Sword, greatly increasing its attacking power. Mid-grade Heaven item. The gigantic Fault Celestial Sword has finally reached the level of a mid-grade Heaven item. Feeling the changes in the gigantic Fault Celestial Sword, Yi Chunfeng revealed a faint smile. With the upgrade of the gigantic Fault Celestial Sword, his attacking power had been greatly increased as well. He now had the ability to defeat ordinary Supreme Kings. Chunfeng, do you have something to ask me? Yu Nikhang, who had completely mastered the heavenly demon dance technique and restrained her devil chi, asked when she saw that Yi Chunfeng had finished refining the titanic Fault Heavenly Sword. Everyone has their own secrets. I'm not that curious. Yi Chunfeng looked at Yu Nichang's charming face and gently shook his head. He didn't ask her about her secret. Chunfeng, when the day comes that I have to leave you, I will tell you my identity. Yu Nikhang bit her alluring red lips and stared at Yi Chunfeng with burning eyes. She then said in a serious tone, "Then, when you become an immortal emperor, come and find me." All right. Yi Chunfeng looked at Yu Nichang's serious face and nodded. From her words, he felt that her identity was not simple. Hearing Yi Chunfeng's resolute reply, Yu Nikhang revealed a charming smile. Let's go to the Slaughter Pagoda to gain experience. After saying that, the two left the high-grade training room and headed to the Slaughter Pagoda. It occupied a large area and was several hundred meters tall. The top of the pagoda reached the clouds. It was like a giant blade that could split the heavens and earth apart. The Slaughter Pagoda had a total of 10 levels. According to the rules of the Slaughter Pagoda, if one won 10 battles in a row, they could go up one level. Once they reached the 5th level, they would obtain the qualifications to enter the 9-Dragon Jade Annulus. The rules of the Slaughter Pagoda were different from the Slaughter Pagoda. In the Slaughter Pagoda, one could challenge anyone they wanted. As long as they won, they would obtain slaughter points as a reward. They could also exchange for cultivation resources that were not available in the Slaughter Pagoda. During the challenge, if no one dared to challenge for 3 consecutive days, they could directly obtain all the slaughter points on that level and enter the next level. Grand Elder, Yi Chunfeng and Yu Nikhang have come out of seclusion. They're heading to the Slaughter Pagoda. Yi Chunfeng and Yu Nikhang were immediately discovered when they were heading to the Slaughter Pagoda. The Grand Elder of the Slaughter Pagoda was immediately informed. Tell House Wu about this. Have them stop Yi Chunfeng in the Slaughter Pagoda. The Grand Elder's eyes flashed sharply as he ordered in a low voice. Shui Kuluo, I don't think those useless fools from House will be able to figure out his true identity. After the messenger left, a shadow that had merged with the night walked out from a dark corner and called out the Grand Elder's name without a trace of emotion. House Wu may be a little stupid, but they're still useful. Even if they can't figure out Yi Chunfeng's true identity, there's still House Xiaohou, isn't there? Shui Kuluo revealed a cold smile. Let's go. We'll personally go to the Slaughter Pagoda and watch Yi Chunfeng's challenge. Perhaps we'll gain something unexpected. Shui Kuluo suggested. The shadow nodded and left the Slaughter Pagoda with Shui Kuluo. Halt. Enter the Slaughter Pagoda. 100 slaughter points per person. When Yi Chunfeng and Yu Nikhang reached the entrance of the Slaughter Pagoda, Yu Nikhang was stopped by the guards of the Slaughter Pagoda. The price to enter the Slaughter Pagoda is so high. Yi Chunfeng muttered to himself. Although 100 slaughter points was nothing to Yi Chunfeng, if he entered the Slaughter Pagoda every day, he would have to pay 3,000 slaughter points per month. 3,000 slaughter points could be exchanged for 3 upper-rank earth weapons in the inner city. Yi Chunfeng paid 100 slaughter points for Yu Nikhang and entered the Slaughter Pagoda. He found that the Slaughter Pagoda was completely different from what he had imagined. There were shops, lofts, restaurants, and even many advanced cultivation rooms. However, the price of the cultivation rooms in the Slaughter Pagoda was much higher than outside. There were not many people who could afford to rent a cultivation room in the Slaughter Pagoda. It could be said that the Slaughter Pagoda was a mini slaughter city. Moreover, the cultivation resources here were even more plentiful than in Slaughter City. As long as one had enough slaughter points, they could live here. When Yi Chen-feng and Yu Nikhang arrive at the ring-shaped arena in the center of the first floor of the Slaughter Pagoda, they immediately felt the restless aura of madness in the arena. The roars of men, mixed with the screams of women, ignited the atmosphere of the arena to the extreme. Trash, a bunch of trash. Who else dares to come up? A burly, muscular, and bald level 5 mystic beast ancestor with black fire tattoos on his face chopped down his opponent with an axe. He waved his arms and shouted arrogantly, "Strong, too strong." Yen Hong's strength has probably reached level 6 mystic beast ancestor. That's right, this Yen Hong has already won 9 times in a row. Moreover, he killed all his opponents with an overwhelming advantage. With his strength, he should be able to reach the 3rd floor of the Slaughter Pagoda. Below the huge arena, many people were shocked by Yen Hong's strength after witnessing his bloody battle. No one dared to challenge him. "Chen-feng, wait for me below. I'm going to challenge that blockhead." Yu Nikhang looked at the arrogant, bald man. Her beautiful eyes lit up with an intense battle intent. "Nikhang, be careful. That person is very strong," Yi Chen-feng solemnly reminded her. "Don't worry, Chen-feng. I only need 3 moves to defeat him." Yi Chen-feng smiled and confidently said. He lightly tapped the ground with the tip of his foot. His entire body was like a flaming butterfly, drawing a fiery red shadow in the air and landing on the spacious arena. What a beautiful beauty! The bald man saw Moon Raymond Shang jump in front of him. She was wearing a fiery red dress. Her figure was hot and charming. He was startled. His bell-sized eyes immediately shot out a burning color. "Little beauty, you've got guts. You actually dare to challenge me. However, if you agree to be my woman, I can consider letting you win." The bald man licked his scarlet lips and looked at Yu Nikhang with some excitement. He was completely captivated by her beauty. "Ha, let's talk about it after you defeat me." Yu Nikhang let out a series of crisp laughter. She quickly circulated the heavenly demon dance, and waves of demonic aura were emitted from her body. "Yes, you're a demonic cultivator." Looking at Yu Nikhang, who was emitting demonic aura, the bald man revealed a trace of seriousness. An unparalleled power erupted from his strong body. He held a heavy axe and chopped at Yu Nikhang. Demon-slaying finger. Yu Nichang's pupil shrank. The demonic aura surging in her body quickly condensed under the urging of the heavenly demon dance. She pointed her finger and a black light shot out like a shooting star, dyeing the air and changing its color. Buzz! When the demon-slaying finger touched the heavy axe of the bald man, it immediately released a huge vibration force. Not only did it dissolve the power of the axe, but it also shook the bald man's arm numb. A large amount of blood flowed out from the web between his thumb and forefinger. Then, the second demon-slaying finger flew out and pointed at the heavy axe in the bald man's hand. The terrifying light of the finger forced the bald man to retreat step by step. His blood and chi were in turmoil, and a wisp of blood flowed out from the corner of his mouth. "It's over." When Yu Nikhang pointed her finger for the 3rd time, the bald man's whole body shook violently. He lost control of his body and was powerless to resist. He could only watch as the demon-slaying finger pierced through his head. His body fell into a pool of blood and remained motionless. Mobile reading site, book address. For the convenience of your next reading, you can click on the Save button at the bottom to record this reading record. Next time you open the bookshelf, you will see it. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 278. Who will fight? Strong, too strong. This beauty is too strong. Yen Hong, who is a level 5 profound beast ancestor, was actually unable to withstand 3 of her finger attacks. When did such a terrifying character appear on the 1st floor of the Tower of Slaughter? After witnessing Yu Nikhang killing Yen Hong with just 3 fingers, almost everyone present was stunned. In an instant, she became the absolute focus of discussion, and her glory overshadowed everyone else. The power of the Tao pattern. Nichang's demonic art is the Tao formula. When Yu Nikhang circulated the Heaven Dance Devil art with all her might, Yi Chen-feng's powerful soul spirit detected the power of the Tao pattern. He revealed an astonished expression as he was shocked by Yu Nichang's identity. After witnessing Yu Nichang's terrifying battle prowess, Yi Chenfeng was no longer worried about her. Just as Yi Chenfeng was waiting for an opportunity to step onto the stage, his sharp senses detected that the mysterious soul that had spied on him twice had appeared again. That aura, that person has appeared again. Just who is it that has been secretly spying on me? Yi Chenfeng frowned slightly. He quickly scanned the surroundings with the corner of his eyes, but did not discover anyone suspicious. Looks like there's going to be trouble again today, Yi Chenfeng mumbled. However, he wasn't worried about the danger. Before his identity was exposed, the Slaughter City wouldn't dare to harm him. Who wants to fight? At this moment, a middle-aged man at the 4th level of the Mystic Beast Ancestor realm, who held a 9-foot, 9-inch long spear and wore a dark blue robe, had long black hair fluttering in the wind, and a thick black beard. He defeated his opponent with a single strike of his spear and provoked loudly. Let me. Yi Chenfeng's body moved slightly, bringing with it a swift and fierce aura as he appeared in the arena. A 2nd-level Mystic Beast sect? The blue-robed man was stunned when he sensed Yi Chenfeng's strength, and then he revealed a disdainful expression. As far as he was concerned, Yi Chenfeng, who was a level 2 Dark Beast ancestor coming to challenge him, was no different than courting death. Kid, you dare challenge me with your strength? I can't help but admire your courage. However, I will not show you any mercy. I will let you know that trying to be brave will cost you your life, the blue-robed man said disdainfully as he pointed his spear at Yi Chenfeng. Are you done? If you're done, let's begin. Yi Chenfeng looked at the blue-robed man with a sharp gaze. There was no change in his expression. You're courting death. The blue-robed man's face darkened. A single-horned rhinoceros emerged from his body. A terrifying amount of soul power erupted from his body and surged into the spear in his hand. Chi, the blue-robed man's entire arm, fused with the spear. A sharp spear light tore through the air and pierced towards Yi Chenfeng at a speed faster than the speed of light. As the blue-robed man pierced his spear, Yi Chenfeng didn't do anything. He watched as the spear light got closer and closer. Seeing that Yi Chenfeng's throat was about to be pierced by the blue-robed man, he suddenly extended his index finger and tapped on the spear tip that was surrounded by soul power. A strength of more than 700,000 kilograms exploded. The powerful finger light not only resisted the might of the blue-robed man's spear, but also bent the tough spear shaft. What? Seeing this shocking scene, the blue-robed man's heart was in turmoil. His eyes were wide open as if he had seen a ghost. He couldn't believe what was happening in front of him. The blue-robed man wasn't the only one who was stunned. All the spectators were also stunned. They looked at Yi Chenfeng as if they were looking at a monster. The 100 Victories emblem. He has the 100 Victories emblem on his shoulder. The sharp-eyed spectators saw the 100 Victories emblem on Yi Chenfeng's shoulder and cried out in surprise. Those who could obtain the 100 Victories emblem in the Massacre Outer City were all geniuses among geniuses. At this moment, no one dared to look down on Yi Chenfeng. They looked at the blue-robed man with sympathy. After blocking the blue-robed man's spear with one finger, Yi Chenfeng's body moved slightly. In an instant, he transformed into 3 fast afterimages and disappeared in front of the blue-robed man's eyes. In the next moment, the blue-robed man felt danger behind him. He instinctively wanted to dodge. But at this moment, a terrifying force crashed into his back like a meteorite. It shattered his spine and sent him flying. A large amount of blood spurted out from his mouth, leaving behind a bloody mist in the air. He fell out of the arena and fainted. Yi Chenfeng easily defeated the blue-robed man and obtained his first victory. Yu Nichang also obtained her second victory with an absolute advantage. Who want to fight? Yi Chenfeng stood tall and straight in the middle of the arena with his hands behind his back. He said in a proud and aloof manner. Yi Chenfeng's performance was too powerful. It had given everyone a great shock. So, no one dared to challenge him for a while. I'll do it. After waiting for half an incense stick's time, a thin and small old man wearing a black robe jumped onto the arena. His body was exuding a strange aura. He had dark green iron claws. Kid, your strength is not bad, but your good luck ends here. The skinny old man opened his mouth and revealed a mouthful of disgusting yellow teeth. Then, the skinny old man sped up and approached Yi Chun-feng at an extremely fast speed. When he was 3 meters away from Yi Chun-feng, a cloud of black powder spurted out from his sleeve and shrouded Yi Chun-feng. Poison! Yi Chun-feng frowned as the black powder flew towards him. Then, the green spirit fire gushed out of his body and turned him into a flaming man. Then, it burned away the poisonous powder. Spirit fire. You actually subdued a spirit fire. Spirit fire was the nemesis of poison. Seeing the green spirit fire gushing out of Yi Chun-feng's body, the skinny old man's face changed. Just as he was about to open his mouth and admit defeat, Yi Chun-feng, whose body was burning with the green spirit fire, suddenly took a step forward. The cloud-crushing palm shot out, carrying an astonishing force of 700,000 jin, and bombarded the skinny old man. 5 Poison Claw. When the cloud-crushing palm arrived, the skinny old man immediately felt suffocated. A brightly colored poisonous snake had entered his body. He used all his strength to meet the attack. Kacha! A crisp cracking sound rang out as the iron claw on the skinny old man's arm was unable to withstand the attack of the collapsing cloud palm and broke into pieces. The powerful collapsing cloud palm light fiercely bombarded his chest and sent him flying. Pong! The skinny old man's body exploded in midair. Blood and broken limbs scattered all over the ground. The terrifying scene made people shudder. Who wants to fight? After absorbing the death chi emitted from the skinny old man's body and taking away his belongings, Yi Chun-feng stood on a martial stage that was filled with the smell of blood and said domineeringly, "Wu He, this demonic frenzy pill is for you. Go and finish him." In the crowd, a gray-robed old man from the Wu clan looked at Yi Chun-feng with a hazy gaze. He said to a young level 5 mystic beast ancestor beside him who had a slightly pale complexion and was wearing silver armor. He also gave a young man a black pill. "Don't worry, 10th Elder. I will definitely cut him down with my blade." The silver-armored man swallowed the demonic frenzy pill that the gray-robed old man gave him. He took a deep breath and jumped on a martial stage with a dragon headblade that weighed over 10,000 jin in his hand. "It's the Wu clan's genius, Wu He. I didn't think that he would actually come onto the stage to compete. Didn't he say that he wouldn't come onto the stage if he didn't have the strength to reach the 5th floor of the slaughter tower? This competition is going to be interesting. I wonder who is stronger between the two of them. Sure enough, the Wu clan's people will come to stop me and test my strength." Hearing the discussions of the crowd, Yi Chun-feng revealed a trace of a cold smile. He suddenly patted his chinkoan bag and took out the Corpse King hammer that weighed over 160,000 jin. Boom! When the Corpse King hammer fell to the ground, it immediately caused a huge vibration, causing cracks to appear on the hard martial stage. Such a shocking scene caused the noisy stands to become silent. Mobile reading site, book address. For the convenience of your next reading, you can click on the Collect button at the bottom to record this reading record. You will be able to see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 279. No one dared to fight. What great strength! Wu He was also a dual cultivator of soul and body. But when he saw the Corpse King hammer in Yi Chun-feng's hand, there was a slight change in his expression. He had a feeling that the power he was so proud of was far inferior to Yi Chun-feng's. This battle was very dangerous. However, Wu did not back down. With a roar, the demonic frenzy pellet in his body released a violent energy that poured into his body, greatly increasing his strength. In an instant, Wu He used the demonic frenzy pellet to increase his strength to the next level, reaching the 6th level of the Mystic Beast Grandmaster realm. A golden crane appeared on his body and cried toward the sky. "Is there any use in increasing your strength?" Yi Chun-feng, who had absolute strength, revealed a cold smile. His entire body erupted with 700,000 jin of strength. Holding the 160,000 jin Corpse King hammer, he attacked Wu He. Thousand Caddy Slash. Yi Chen-feng attacked with all his strength. Wu He, who had fallen into a demonic state, roared, and the golden crane fused into his body. Holding the dragon head saber with both hands, his entire body erupted with astonishing strength as he chopped forward with the momentum to split a mountain. Boom! When Wu He's full-strength saber chopped down on the Corpse King hammer, a deafening explosion rang out. Large amounts of sparks flew into the air like stars, filling the sky. How did he cultivate? How could his physical strength be so terrifying? Facing Yi Chen-feng's attack head-on, Wu He immediately felt his arm go numb, directly interrupting his attack rhythm. Yi Chen-feng's attack did not slow down. He pushed his physical strength to the limit. Wielding the heavy Corpse King hammer, he danced with a large number of hammer shadows, fiercely attacking. The Corpse King hammer, like a mountain crushing down, completely restrained Wu He, forcing him to retreat repeatedly. The blood and qi in his body churned violently. What frightening physical strength! This Yi Chen-feng's physical strength has almost reached the level of the Reverse Beast King. The Grand Elder of Slaughter City, Xue Kuo, who was hiding in the shadows, could not help but be shocked when he saw Yi Chen-feng suppress Yi Chen-feng with pure physical strength. Yes, that Yi Chen-feng's physical strength has probably reached 700,000 kilograms. In addition to that heavy hammer that weighs more than 100,000 kilograms, the destructive power generated is enough to crush a level 6 mystic beast ancestor. If that we didn't consume a frenzy demon pill, I reckon that he would have already lost. The figure completely covered in a black robe nodded and said, "Shadow, you once trained on the Xingluo continent, so you know a bit about Xingluo Sky City. Do you know if Xingluo Sky City has such a terrifying body-refining technique?" Xue Koluo asked. Xingluo Sky City's heritage is too deep. There must be a body-refining inheritance, the shadow said without any doubt. In that case, this Yi Chen-feng might really be from Xingluo Sky City. Xue Koluo said with a frown. It's too early to make a conclusion. Let's keep watching. If he really is from Xingluo Sky City, then we can use the agreement from back then to send someone to Xingluo Sky City to negotiate, the shadow said. That's the only way. I hope he won't ruin His Majesty's plan. Xue Koluo said helplessly. Vitality ignition. Wu He, whose attacks were completely suppressed by Yi Chen-feng and whose body was covered in cracks and covered in blood, roared. He burned his vitality ignition at all costs in a final struggle. 100 Shadow Blade. Wu He, whose strength had soared to the limit and whose body was emitting a violent energy, roared. He leaped into the air and slashed out 100 overlapping blade shadows, slashing at Yi Chen-feng. Yi Chen-feng did not dodge Wu He's 100 Shadow Blade. 2 killing halos appeared behind him, instantly doubling his attack power. He held the Corpse King hammer in his hand and met the attack head-on. Boom! A thunderous sound burst out, and a terrible rebounding force spread out in all directions like a tide. Hundreds of blade shadows resisted for 3 breaths of time, but they couldn't withstand the attack of the zombie King hammer, which had doubled the attack power and shattered one after another. Wu He, who bore the brunt of the shock wave, was severely injured. Blood spurted out of his mouth, and he fell to the ground like a kite with a broken string. He had almost lost his ability to fight. Killing halos. Could he be cultivating the 8 Sha Azura art that Xingluo Sky City has never taught to outsiders? Seeing the 2 killing halos behind Yi Chen-feng, Xue Koluo and the shadow looked at each other and saw the shock in each other's eyes. Through the 8 Sha Azura art, the 2 of them were basically sure that Yi Chen-feng came from Xingluo Sky City. Moreover, his status in Xingluo Sky City was definitely not low. Otherwise, he would not be qualified to cultivate the 8 Sha Azura art. Tell me who is targeting me. If you don't, I will kill you. Yi Chen-feng held the Corpse King hammer and pressed it against Wu He's head, which was bleeding profusely, and ordered without any room for resistance. Kid, how dare you? If you dare to hurt Wu He, my Wu family will make sure that you will not have a corpse left. Although Wu He was not the top genius of the Wu family, his growth was still limitless. Seeing that his life was in danger, the gray-robed elder was enraged and warned loudly. My patience is limited. If you don't tell me, I will send you to hell. Yi Chen-feng ignored the gray-robed elder's warning and said with a murderous intent, I don't know. Looking into Yi Chen-feng's eyes, Wu He's heart trembled, and he said timidly, If you don't know, then you can go to hell. Yi Chen-feng never showed mercy to his enemies. Since the Wu family was targeting him, he would not leave a potential threat for himself. Peng. Wu Yi's head was smashed by Yi Chen-feng's hammer. Blood and brain matter splattered all over the ground, and it was a ghastly sight. Little bastard, my Wu family and you are irreconcilable enemies. The gray-robed elder looked at Wu He's corpse and roared in anger. What? You want to avenge him? Then I challenge you. Do you dare to accept? Yi Chen-feng looked at the gray-robed elder with bloodshot eyes and pointed the Corpse King hammer at him, provoking him. You. Looking at Yi Chen-feng's provocative attitude, the gray-robed elder's angry roar was stuck in his throat, and his whole face turned red. Although his strength was far superior to Wu He, and he had reached the 6th grade of the Mystic Beast Ancestor Realm, he had a feeling that Yi Chen-feng's strength was far superior to his. If he went up now, it would be no different from courting death. Why are you mute? Didn't you just say that you want to avenge him? I'm giving you a chance now. Why are you afraid? Looking at the gray-robed elder who did not dare to accept the challenge, Yi Chen-feng mocked. Trash, the Wu family is really trash. My Slaughter City's face has been completely lost by them. Looking at the gray-robed elder who was frightened by Yi Chen-feng's invincible aura and turned into a coward, Shui Keluo was so angry that his face turned ashen. He wanted nothing more than to personally kill him. Wu family, listen up. I challenge you all now. Who dares to accept? Yi Chen-feng said domineeringly. His words were like cannonballs, exploding in everyone's ears. Although the Wu family was so angry that they almost vomited blood and looked at Yi Chen-feng with eyes full of anger, they did not dare to accept the challenge after seeing Wu He's fate. They could only grit their teeth and swallow their anger. Yi Chen-feng, don't be so arrogant. My Wu family's geniuses are all in the upper levels of the Slaughter Tower. According to the rules of the Slaughter Tower, they cannot do anything to you. Otherwise, if one of them came down, they would kill you like a chicken. A Wu family disciple was so angry that he shouted loudly. Don't worry, I will climb the tower one level at a time and challenge all of your Wu family's geniuses. I hope they will not disappoint me. Yi Chen-feng revealed an unruly smile. His unstoppable attitude made the Wu family's experts tremble inexplicably. Mobile reading website. Book address. To make it easier for you to read this book next time, you can click on the Say button at the bottom to record this book. You will see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 280. I don't know what you're talking about, trash. Who told you to provoke him? The gray-robed elder's heart trembled when he heard Zheng Zhang's words. He angrily transmitted a message, wanting to strangle the Wu disciple who'd provoked Yi Chen-feng. He had a feeling that Yi Chen-feng could really bring disaster to the genius that House Wu had spent so much effort to raise. The Wu disciple who just provoked Yi Chen-feng looked aggrieved when he saw the gray-robed elder's ferocious expression. He didn't know how to explain himself. Is House Wu really only good at talking? How disappointing. Yi Chen-feng sighed softly and mocked as he looked at the Wu clan experts who did not dare to voice their anger. Yi Chen-feng, you really are arrogant. Do you dare accept Ai's challenge? Just as House Wu was so embarrassed that they wanted to dig a hole and hide in it, a domineering voice echoed in Yi Chen-feng's ears. Two old men in black robes appeared. Their eyes were ferocious, and their aura was oppressive as they walked. They were first-level defiant beast kings. Peerless kings. Yi Chen-feng's pupils shrank to the size of pinholes when he sensed the fierce aura from the two old men. He hadn't expected to be challenged by two peerless kings on the first level of the Slaughter Pagoda. He vaguely guessed their identities. They're from House Xiao. They're finally here. Let's hope they can kill that kid. That way, they'll be able to help us eliminate the threat. Shue Koluo smiled coldly when he saw the two old men in black robes. If that kid really is from Xingluo Sky City and is a genius that they've specially nurtured, House Xiaohou will at most punish him. They won't take his life. Otherwise, House Xiaohou will be destroyed. But his identity will be revealed soon, Shadow said in a low voice. Why wouldn't I dare? Yi Qinfeng looked at the two peerless kings of House Xiaohou with sharp eyes and said fearlessly. At this moment, Yu Nikhang, who'd used the dance of the heavenly demon and won her 5th match with an absolute advantage, looked over with worry in her eyes. Arrogant as expected. Among them, a black-robed old man with a cold body, eyes like cold stars, curved eyebrows like swords, and white hair on his temples condensed a pair of light red soul wings. He directly flew in front of Yi Qinfeng, stirring up gusts of wind. Soul wings. A defiant beast king. That arrogant kid is finally going to pay the price for his arrogance. Yeah, it's rare to see a defiant beast king on the first level. That kid is going to be in big trouble. The defiant beast king. Enki Qinfeng Xuen Nikhang, 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 Nikhang Nichang's S T Nichang's. S Nikhang Nikhang was Nikhang, 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 Nika Nikhang. In their opinion, no matter how strong Yi Qinfeng was, he was only an expert of the Mystic Beast sect. The difference in strength between the Mystic Beast sect and the Defiant Beast King was like heaven and earth. Yi Qinfeng, your retribution has come. We can't deal with you, but someone else can. Just wait to be tortured to death. The old man in gray robes who'd just been humiliated showed a smug smile. He could already imagine Yi Qinfeng's tragic end. You're from House Xiaohou. Yi Qinfeng put the corpse king hammer into his spatial pouch and put his hands behind his back. He looked at the old man in black robes and said in a calm voice, That's right. You dared to kill a genius of House Xiaohou. I'm here to avenge Shui. The old man in black robes' eyes emitted a scarlet light. Since I dare to kill him, I'm naturally not afraid of House Xiaohou's revenge. Yi Qinfeng showed an arrogant smile. His aura erupted like a volcano. He was like an unsheathed sword, incomparably sharp. Roar! A heart-trembling dragon roar resounded. A 3,000-meter-long, two-headed blood dragon king emerged from Yi Qinfeng's body and hovered above his head. The dragon's aura emitted by the word king frightened the audience. Some people were so scared that their faces turned pale and they collapsed to the ground. Two-headed blood dragon. This kid actually has such a terrifying spiritual beast. Seeing Yi Qinfeng's spiritual beast, the old man in black robes' face changed slightly, revealing a look of surprise. Come at me if you want to avenge him. After fusing with the power of the two-headed blood dragon king, Yi Qinfeng instantly reached the peak of level 6 mystic beast ancestor. He took out the gigantic fault heavenly sword, a mid-grade celestial artifact, and pointed the tip of the sword at the black-robed old man. You're courting death. The old man in black robes didn't expect Yi Qinfeng to be so arrogant that he dared to point the sword tip at him. He was completely enraged. A long spear emitting silver light flew out of his spatial ring. It was like a cold star, piercing towards Yi Qinfeng's heart. When the old man in black robes thrust his spear, Yi Qinfeng immediately activated the 81 offensive formation patterns in the heavenly sword. He unleashed a perfect sword aura and 300,000 kilograms of force to meet the attack. 8 slaughtering Azura art, double attack amplitude. The moment the two divine weapons collided, 2 killing halos appeared behind Yi Qinfeng, instantly increasing his attack power by 2 folds. The terrifying power caused dense ripples to appear in the air. Bang! An ear-piercing collision sound resounded, and countless sparks surged in the air. Dang dang! Yi Qinfeng's body trembled as he faced the old man's attack head-on. He retreated uncontrollably, and the chi and blood in his body rolled violently. Killing halos, how do you know the 8 slaughtering Azura art? Who are you? As an elder of the Xiaohou family, the old man in black robes was very familiar with the top soul skills in Xingluo Sky City. When he saw the 2 killing halos condensing behind Yi Qinfeng, his expression changed drastically, and he let out a cry of disbelief. For slaughtering styles, star slashing. While the old man in black robes was still in shock, Yi Chenfeng quickly brandished the gigantic fault heavenly sword. His sword aura reached the perfect level, and 300,000 kilograms of force wrapped around the surface of the gigantic fault heavenly sword. Chi! The sound of cloth being torn apart resounded, and the meteor-like sword light slashed towards the old man in black robes at lightning speed. Because the speed of the sword was too fast, it gave people the illusion that what he slashed was not a sword, but a bolt of lightning. Break! As the star-slashing sword light approached, the old man in black robes narrowed his eyes. His arm muscles bulged, and he thrust his silver spear forward. The sharp spear light was like a silver flood dragon baring its fangs and brandishing its claws, and it whistled as it collided with the star-slashing sword light. Immediately, an endless amount of rebounding force was formed. The black mass dispersed in all directions, and the momentum was extremely shocking. For slaughtering styles, remnant blood. After facing the old man's attack head-on, Yi Chenfeng forcefully suppressed the surging qi and blood in his body and continued to attack. Under the amplification of the two killing halos, the blood-red sword light formed a thick blood-red color that covered the entire arena. It was like a rain of blood that crashed into the old man in black robes, who was worried and putting all his strength into defense. Rumble. The blood-red sword light exploded in front of the old man in black robes. The violent killing force broke through the old man's defense, and he was forced to retreat step by step. Stop. Stop right now. After witnessing Yi Chenfeng using the secret techniques of Xingluo Sky City, the 8 Sha Azura technique, and the 4 slaughtering styles, the old man in black robes suspected Yi Chenfeng's identity and shouted loudly. Stop. The victor hasn't been decided yet, right? Yi Chenfeng looked at the old man in black robes who shouted loudly. He was unmoved, and his perfect sword force continued to erupt, turning into countless sword shadows that continued to attack the old man. Are you a direct disciple of Xingluo Sky City? The old man in black robes asked loudly as he dodged Yi Chenfeng's attacks. I don't know what you're talking about. The corner of Yi Chenfeng's mouth rose slightly, revealing a trace of a strange smile. He repeatedly used the 4 slaughtering styles, bombarding the old man in black robes with attacks like a tidal wave. Although Yi Chenfeng didn't admit it, the old man in black robes firmly believed his identity. When he thought of the power and terror of Xingluo Sky City, a strong sense of apprehension arose in his heart. He didn't dare to hurt Yi Chenfeng. Today's matter ends here. I admit defeat. Helplessly, the first-ranked defiant Beast King in black robes admitted defeat in front of everyone. He sullenly jumped down from the arena and disappeared from the noisy arena with another old man in black robes from House Xiao. Mobile reading site, book address. To make it easier for you to read this book next time, you can click on the Save button at the bottom to record this book. You will see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 281. Challenging a Peerless King. As expected, Yi Chenfeng is Xingluo Sky City's personal disciple. Shui Keluo's expression darkened when he saw Yi Chenfeng use the 8 Shura art and the 4 slaughter styles. House Xiao's hesitation made Shui Keluo furrow his brows. We expected this result. The fact that he dared to kill House Xiao's geniuses without hesitation proves that he doesn't care about House Xiao at all. There aren't many factions in Xingluo that can ignore House Xiao's threat. The shadow said in a low voice as he looked at the unruly Yi Chenfeng. His deep eyes shone with a bright light as he spoke. Because of the ancient North Sea, Slaughter City cut off all contact with Xingluo Sky City. Now that several hundred years have passed, a genius from Xingluo Sky City suddenly came to visit. Could it be because of the ancient North Sea? Shui Keluo guessed with a dark expression. That's possible. Or maybe he's just here to gain experience. Said Shadow. Shadow, how should we deal with him? Shui Keluo asked for Shadow's opinion. This was the first time he felt that the situation was a little tricky. Create trouble for him and make him retreat. Then, we'll wait for the king to come out of seclusion, Shadow said faintly. Create trouble? That's a good idea. Shui Kulo's eyes lit up. Yi Chenfeng is already on bad terms with House Wu. Let's leave the troublemaking to them. I'd like to see how far he can climb in the face of endless trouble. Who else wants to fight? Yi Chenfeng held the titanic Fault Empyrean sword in his hand, exuding a matchless aura. He looked around and spoke domineeringly. After seeing Yi Chenfeng defeat a peerless king, everyone present was intimidated by his strength. No one dared to challenge him. The soul spying on me has disappeared. It seems that they believe my identity. Yi Chenfeng sensed that the people spying on him had left. He knew that he was no longer in danger. However, once they confirmed that his identity as a core disciple of Xingluo Sky City was fake, his situation would become even more dangerous. Not only would Slaughter City hunt him down, but so would the experts from Xingluo Heaven City. At most 3 months, I will leave Slaughter City. Yi Chenfeng decided in his heart. Yi Chenfeng used his absolute strength to intimidate everyone present. When no one dared to challenge him, Yu Nikhang also used her absolute advantage to obtain 8 consecutive victories. No one dared to challenge her. After waiting for the time it took for an incense stick to burn, the two of them saw that no one dared to challenge them. Without further delay, they left the arena and returned to the advanced cultivation room in the inner city to rest. The next morning, they arrived at the martial arena of the first level of the Tower of Slaughter early in the morning. They obtained the qualifications to directly enter the second level of the Tower of Slaughter and also obtained 5,500 genes of slaughter points as a reward. Let's go and take a look at the second level of the Tower of Slaughter. Yi Chenfeng did not stop. He and Yu Nikhang passed through the transmission array of the first level of the Tower of Slaughter and were transported to the second level of the Tower of Slaughter. What a dense death aura! After being transported to the second level of the Tower of Slaughter, Yi Chenfeng immediately felt that the death aura in the air had become even denser. The 8 Sha Azura skill began to circulate on its own, crazily devouring the death aura in the air and condensing the third killing halo bit by bit. Nikhang, let's go to the treasure building and see if there are any precious treasures for sale here. Yi Chenfeng suggested. He and Yu Nikhang arrived at the only treasure building on the second level of the Tower of Slaughter. 1,000-year blood peach, red leaf, serene lotus. When Yi Chenfeng was introduced to the treasures that could be exchanged in the treasure tower by a young and beautiful woman in a thin, short skirt, he was pleasantly surprised. The core essence of the 1,000-year blood peach was one of the necessary ingredients to refine the marrow cleansing pill. If he could obtain the 1,000-year blood peach and find the blood soul grass, he would be able to refine the marrow cleansing pill. Once he succeeded in refining the marrow cleansing pill, Yi Chenfeng would have the opportunity to reach the large success stage of the refining marrow stage. At that time, his pure physical strength would be comparable to a level 4 heavenly beast. Combined with the power of the 2-headed blood dragon king, it would be enough to crush any ordinary peerless king. As for the red leaf serene lotus, it was also something that Yi Chenfeng needed. It was an essential ingredient to refine the Heaven Tier Soul Pill, the 3 Orifices Heavenly Pill. How many slaughter points do these 2 spirit treasures cost? Yi Chenfeng suppressed the excitement in his heart and asked. This 1,000-year blood peach costs 20,000 slaughter points, and this red leaf serene lotus costs 15,000 slaughter points. However, young master has the 100 victories emblem, so you only need to pay a 10% discount. When the beautiful girl saw that Yi Chenfeng wanted to buy these 2 spirit treasures, she immediately revealed a charming smile and said sweetly, 40,000 slaughter points. I will buy these 2 spirit treasures. Just as Yi Chenfeng was about to buy these 2 spirit treasures, a cold voice rang out in the treasure building. An old man with white hair, wearing a gray robe and a vigorous aura appeared. Peerless King. Feeling the strength of the gray-robed old man, Yi Chenfeng's pupils shrank. He didn't expect that trouble would come knocking on his door as soon as he arrived at the second floor of the Tower of Slaughter. His face instantly turned gloomy. Greetings, Elder Wu. Seeing the gray-robed old man slowly walk in, The beautiful girl immediately recognized his identity. She quickly stepped forward and bowed respectfully. As I thought, this person is the Wu family's peerless king. Yi Qinfeng's complexion was ugly as he looked at the gray-robed old man. The gray-robed old man coldly swept his eyes over Yi Chanfeng and provocatively said, "Can you sell this 1,000-year blood peach and the red-leaf serene lotus to me for 40,000 slaughter points?" The beautiful girl didn't dare to offend the gray-robed old man, so she politely said, "Of course. If Elder Wu wants them, they only need 30,000 slaughter points." Yi Qinfeng gloomily said, "What? When you buy and sell spirit treasures, don't you care about first come, first serve?" He had to obtain the 1,000-year blood peach and the red-leaf serene lotus. He would not allow these two spirit treasures to be taken away from him. Hearing Yi Qinfeng's question, the beautiful girl was in a dilemma. She didn't know how to answer him. Reason? The gray-robed old man revealed a mischievous smile. In the Slaughter Tower, the fist is the absolute truth. If I want to forcefully buy them, what can you do to me? As he spoke, the gray-robed old man paid 30,000 slaughter points in front of Yi Chanfeng and forcefully bought the 1,000-year blood peach and the red-leaf serene lotus. Just as the gray-robed old man was preparing to leave, Yi Chanfeng called out to him, "I challenge you. Do you dare to accept?" "What? You challenge me?" The gray-robed old man was stunned. He slowly turned around and playfully looked at Yi Qinfeng. He deliberately asked again, "Did I hear wrong? You want to challenge me? Are your ears bad, or are you afraid to accept?" Yi Qinfeng snorted and said, "That's right. Your Wu family is just a bunch of cowards. I already experienced it in the first level of the Slaughter Tower's martial arena. In order to obtain the 1,000-year blood peach and the red-leaf serene lotus, he would pay any price to kill this gray-robed old man." Hearing Yi Qinfeng's ridicule, the gray-robed old man's face sank. His eyes shot out a terrifying light. "Since you want to die, then I'll fulfill your wish. I accept your challenge." The gray-robed old man gnashed his teeth. Blue veins popped out on his forehead. "Nick Hang, let's go to the martial arena. Watch me twist off this old dog's head and use it as a chamber pot." Yi Chanfeng continued to ridicule, causing the gray-robed old man to fly into a rage. He wished he could immediately take Yi Qinfeng's life. "Yi Qinfeng, I swear I will grind your bones to dust." The gray-robed old man took a deep breath and forcefully suppressed the surging rage in his heart. He swore in his heart as he followed Yi Qinfeng and Xiao Chun to the extraordinarily bustling dueling ground. Mobile reading website, book address. In order to make it easier for you to read next time, you can click on the save button at the bottom to record this reading. Next time you open the bookshelf, you will see it. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 282. The momentum of the sword is overwhelming. Yi Qinfeng, be careful. Yu Nikang held Yi Qinfeng's large hand tightly and urged him with a nervous expression. Although Yi Qinfeng was very strong, the difference in strength between the Dark Beast sect and the Reverse Beast King was like heaven and earth. Moreover, the Wu family was an old family in Slaughter City with a deep foundation. Yu Nikang couldn't help but worry for him. "Don't worry, Nikang. He will definitely die." Yi Qinfeng revealed an unruly smile, his body exuding the confidence of victory, which calmed down Yu Nichang's anxious heart. After saying that, Yi Qinfeng leaped into the air, leaving behind an afterimage. He appeared in an empty battle arena and pointed his gigantic fault heavenly sword at Elder Wu, who had a gloomy expression on his face. He said domineeringly, "Come, let me see if the Wu family's peerless king is worth his reputation." As soon as Yi Qinfeng's voice fell, it caused a huge commotion in the noisy arena. It attracted the attention of almost all the spectators in the stands, and they all started discussing. Who is that person? He actually dares to challenge Elder Wu. Could it be that he doesn't know that Elder Wu is a supreme king? I don't know him. Maybe he's a hothead who just came to this floor. I've discovered that there are truly people who are not afraid of death. They just arrived at the second floor of the Slaughter Tower and they dare to challenge Elder Wu, one of the three kings of this floor. They are truly tired of living. Kid, you're dead for sure today. Elder Wu glared at Yi Chunfeng, who was pointing his sword at him. The anger in his chest almost caused his lungs to explode. Golden lightning gloves. Even though Elder Wu was furious, he did not let his guard down. He quickly took out a pair of supreme-grade, earth-level gloves that were flickering with lightning and put them on. An ancient alligator with a body length of more than 30 meters appeared. Its mouth was incomparably long, and its eyes emitted a terrifying light. Its dark skin was like black iron, and it was emitting a faint red light. Two-headed blood dragon king Fuse. The moment Elder Wu summoned his spiritual beast, the ancient crocodile, the double-headed blood dragon king, which was more than 3,000 meters long, appeared on Yi Chunfeng's body. It released a chilling dragon aura and roared at the ancient crocodile. The ancient alligator was already very big, but compared to the two-headed blood dragon king, it was like a small insect. Its huge size made Elder Wu feel a trace of pressure. Heavens, am I seeing things? That person's spiritual beast is actually a double-headed dragon. It seems that this person dares to challenge Elder Wu because he has something to rely on. However, with his strength as a level 2 profound beast ancestor, it will be too difficult for him to defeat Elder Wu. Yi Chunfeng, don't think you can defeat me just because you have a top-level spiritual beast. I'll let you know how big the gap is between the Mystic Beast sect and the Reverse Beast King. Elder Wu's face darkened. After fusing with the ancient crocodile, his strength had been greatly improved. He suddenly leaned forward and turned into a stream of light, attacking Yi Chunfeng. Collapsing cloud palm. Elder Wu quickly attacked, and Yi Chunfeng quickly took a step forward. Two rainbow-shaped killing halos appeared behind him, and 700,000 kilograms of force gushed out of his body, quickly condensing into a giant palm print that was compressed to the extreme. Boom! The collapsing cloud palm, which was enough to explode the void, firmly imprinted on Elder Wu's fist. An astonishing hurricane swept out, and the terrifying shock wave made the arena tremble. Collapsing cloud palm. After the first palm, Yi Chunfeng used the amplitude of the two killing halos to consecutively imprint 3 more collapsing cloud palms, bombarding Elder Wu continuously, not giving him a chance to get close. The terrifying shock wave spread out in the air like dense water ripples. The astonishing destructive power shook the hard arena until it was full of cracks. The bright light made people unable to open their eyes. Seeing that Elder Wu, a level 1 Reverse Beast King, couldn't get close to Yi Chunfeng, a level 2 Mystic Beast Grandmaster, the audience in the stands widened their eyes and mouths in shock. They looked at Yi Chunfeng in disbelief, shocked by his attack power. Rending Light Claw. Killing intent surged in Elder Wu's eyes. Countless lightning bolts surged out from the golden lightning gloves, condensing into a light rending claw that flashed with lightning. The light rending claw shattered the consecutive cloud, collapsing palms, and grabbed at Yi Chunfeng's heart like a black tiger. Complete sword aura break. The rending light claw tore through the air, and the complete sword aura immediately gushed out of Yi Chunfeng's body and merged into the gigantic Fault Heavenly Sword. Kacha, the sharp tip of the gigantic Fault Heavenly Sword emitted a dense, shattering sound. The gigantic Fault Heavenly Sword had merged with the complete sword aura, 350,000 kilograms of strength, and the double killing power, and forcibly shattered the rending light claw. Soul Suppressing Tablet. Elder Wu's face sank as the rending light claw was shattered by Yi Chunfeng's attack power. He used his ultimate move, and the rolling soul power condensed into a giant hand that covered the sky, enveloping the entire arena. Within the giant hand, there was a stone tablet covered with ancient runes. Large patches of air were suppressed by the soul-suppressing tablet and quickly scattered in all directions, forming a vacuum. Suppress. Elder Wu roared. The giant hand holding the soul-suppressing tablet descended from the sky. It was like a giant mountain, ruthlessly smashing towards Yi Chunfeng, wanting to smash him into meat paste. Eternal Night, seeing the fierce and tyrannical soul-suppressing tablet smashing towards him. Yi Qinfeng, who had nowhere to run, used all his strength to meet the attack. The unparalleled sword aura swept across the heaven and earth, snatching away all the light in the surroundings. It was as if the night had descended. A giant sword that was as fast as lightning tore through the night sky, as if it had split open the sky. It struck the soul-suppressing tablet, causing 1,000 layers of giant waves and causing the sky to tremble. Boom, boom, boom. The turbulent air continued to explode, and a destructive storm swept out in all directions. The terrifying power shook the sturdy arena until it was full of cracks, and the defensive light barrier around the arena was shattered. Seeing the destructive power of the two's exchange and hearing the explosions, the spectators in the stands were dumbfounded. Too terrifying. A level 2 Mystic Beast Ancestor is actually not at a disadvantage against a Peerless King. What kind of great power has nurtured such a monster? Your strength is only SOSO? How disappointing. Yi Qinfeng took a deep breath and suppressed the surging blood in his body. He looked at the ashen-faced Elder Wu and deliberately mocked him to disturb his mind. Yi Qinfeng, the competition has just begun. It's too early for you to be happy, Elder Wu said with a gloomy face. A pair of light red soul wings that were completely condensed from soul power appeared behind his back. The red soul wings flapped violently, causing gusts of wind, which instantly increased Elder Wu's speed. He launched a tidal wave of attacks at Yi Qinfeng. He wanted to rely on his speed to suppress Yi Qinfeng and gain the absolute advantage to kill him in one fell swoop. Elder Wu, who had condensed the soul wings, was astonishingly fast. However, with Yi Qinfeng's powerful soul power, the trajectory of Elder Wu's attacks were constantly seen through by Yi Qinfeng. He stepped on a shifting phantom and calmly dodged. After images shuttled back and forth, making it impossible for Elder Wu to suppress him with speed. Explode for me. Elder Wu was furious that he couldn't obtain an overwhelming advantage even after condensing the soul wings. Following his roar, 2 palm prints filled with destructive power struck out, causing a large amount of air to be compressed and explode. The terrifying palm lights were like 2 meteors that smashed towards Yi Qinfeng. The pressure in the air instantly increased. Eternal Night. At this critical moment, 2 killing halos quickly absorbed the surrounding death aura, increasing Yi Qinfeng's attack power by 2-fold. The Eternal Night sword light, which was filled with the power of slaughter, rapidly slashed out from the titanic Fault Heavenly Sword. It tore a sword scar that was dozens of feet long in space. The sky changed color, and the sword aura roared. The Eternal Night's sword light directly split apart Elder Wu's palm prints and shot towards his chest. PFFF. A glaring blood splashed out. Elder Wu, who couldn't dodge in time, had his body's defense broken by the Eternal Night sword light. A large amount of blood splattered out from his chest and onto the ground. It was a shocking sight. Mobile reading site. Book address. For the convenience of your next reading, you can click on the bookmark button at the bottom to record this reading record. You will be able to see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 283. Wrath of God, Destruction. Elder Wu is injured. Elder Wu, a peerless king, was actually injured by that young man. Too terrifying. This person's attack power is too terrifying. This is the first time I've seen a level 2 Mystic Beast Grandmaster injure a peerless king. Today's battle was too satisfying. Looking at Elder Wu, who was injured in the chest and spurting out blood, the audience in the stand became excited. They started to discuss among themselves, and almost everyone's attention was attracted to the scene. You've really angered me. Elder Wu felt a burning pain in his chest and listened to the noisy discussions around him. His face was as gloomy as water, and the flames in his eyes seemed to want to melt Yi Qinfeng. Spiritual Beast Bloodline, activate. Elder Wu roared. The ancient crocodile reappeared in his body. A powerful bloodline power was emitted from his body, greatly increasing his strength. The reason why legendary kings were so terrifying was that after breaking through to the reverse Beast King realm, their spiritual beast and physical body would complete the fusion. After the fusion, the reverse Beast King's body would produce the bloodline of a spiritual beast, greatly increasing its strength. When the reverse Beast King enhanced his spiritual beast bloodline power to the extreme, his spiritual beast would undergo a second metamorphosis and break through to the battle Beast Emperor realm, gaining the ability to transform. It's time to go all out. Sensing Elder Wu's sudden increase in strength, Yi Qinfeng revealed a solemn expression. Under everyone's watchful eyes, he didn't dare transform into his beast soul form, nor did he dare reveal his life's soul spell. He could only rely on his own strength to resist. Ancient profound ice, green spiritual fire, purple spiritual lightning appear. When Elder Wu activated his spiritual beast bloodline, the three destructive spiritual items appeared in his body. Under the control of the Chaos Divine Wood, they quickly condensed and formed a ball of explosive power. Spiritual fire, spiritual thunder, spiritual water. How'd he do it? How could his body contain three great spiritual objects? Isn't he afraid that the three spiritual objects would repel each other and explode? When Elder Wu saw the three phase above Yi Qinfeng's head, his heart inexplicably trembled. Even he couldn't accommodate three phase at the same time. What kind of freak is this kid? Because Xueku Luo had purposely concealed Yi Qinfeng's identity, the Wu family knew little about him. They didn't know that he might have come from Xingluo Sky City. Wrath of God's punishment. Yi Qinfeng roared. The destructive ball of light formed by the three spirit items turned into a stream of energy. It was like the roar of a god. It surged through the 9 heavens and blasted towards Xueku, whose expression had changed slightly. Soul suppressing tablet. Xuekuluo's bloodline power erupted. The gigantic hand that held the soul-suppressing steel surged out of his body, slamming into the surging wrath of divine punishment. Boom! The two destructive forces collided, and a huge boom resounded through the entire arena. The terrifying power was like the fury of the thunder god, collapsing the incomparably sturdy arena and shattering several energy shields that were rising up into the air. Seeing the power of destruction erupting from the energy shield, the spectators in the stands were terrified. Many of them even began to tremble. Pooh! Yi Qinfeng's body trembled, and he spat out a mouthful of blood. His body crashed heavily into the energy shield behind him, and a large amount of blood spurted out of his mouth. If it weren't for the Blood Dragon King Soul armor helping him to dissolve most of the attack, such a terrifying destructive power would have been enough to destroy his body. Although Elder Wu was far stronger than Yi Qinfeng and had activated his spiritual beast bloodline, his body was far weaker than Yi Qinfeng's. Taking the attack of Wrath of God's punishment head-on, he was also heavily injured. Damn it, why is this kid so difficult to deal with? Elder Wu thought that activating his spiritual beast bloodline would allow him to control the situation and kill Yi Qinfeng. However, he didn't expect Yi Qinfeng's attack to be 100 times more terrifying than he had imagined. The attack of Wrath of God's punishment terrified him. Wrath of God's punishment. Yi Qinfeng took a deep breath and quickly drank a mouthful of heavenly fate water. He instantly recovered his expended soul power and stabilized his injuries. He controlled the three spirit items to fuse again, forming a destructive power. Rumble, a thunderous sound rang above the chaotic arena, and the entire space was distorted. The destructive power of Wrath of God's punishment once again bombarded Elder Wu, whose expression changed drastically. Lunatic, the destructive power erupted like a volcano. Elder Wu cursed in his heart and continued to print the soul-suppressing tablet to counterattack. When the two forces of destruction collided, they once again formed an endless torrent of energy. The ferocious forces of destruction formed a storm of destruction in the air above the arena, distorting the air above the arena. It's too terrifying. The destructive power caused by the fight between these two is too terrifying. Is he really only a Class 2 mystic beast ancestor? Looking at the arena covered by the destructive storm, the spectators in the stands couldn't help but gulp. They had no doubt that if it weren't for the several defensive shields around the arena, they would have been swept into the storm and minced into pieces. Elder Huang, who do you think will have the last laugh between the two of them? At this moment, two figures appeared on the main spectator stand of the arena. One of them was a tall woman with delicate skin, long golden hair draped over her shoulders, and a green silk dress that dragged all the way to the ground. She looked at the two people fighting in the arena and asked in a pleasant voice, "Normally speaking, Elder Wu's strength is far superior to that young man. However, it seems that it's hard to tell who will win." The tall and straight old man, who wore a linen robe and whose eyes were as black as ink, shook his head and said, "These two people were from the three great families of the Slaughter Inner City. Apart from the Wu family, the elders of the Luo and Huang families were also peerless kings. They were usually in charge of guarding the second floor of the Slaughter Tower together with Elder Wu. I feel that Elder Wu is going to be unlucky this time." The green-dressed woman looked at the changes in the arena and revealed a trace of an enchanting smile. The three great families of the Slaughter Inner City didn't have a good relationship. Seeing Elder Wu suffer, not only did the two not interfere, they even watched the battle with interest. Pung pung. The two figures fell out of the destructive storm and heavily crashed into the cracked energy barrier. Large amounts of blood spurted out from their mouths. "Little bastard, I'll definitely kill you." Feeling the intense pain in his body, Elder Wu, whose internal organs were severely injured, spat out a mouthful of blood. He struggled to stand up and looked at Yi Chunfeng ferociously. He wanted to kill Yi Chunfeng in one go to vent the hatred in his heart. It's not certain who will die yet. Yi Chunfeng drank another mouthful of heavenly fate water and instantly recovered his expended soul power. He suppressed his injuries and fiercely slapped the ground with his hands, bouncing up from the ground. A blurry afterimage streaked across the chaotic air, approaching the severely injured Elder Wu at an extremely fast speed. How is this possible? How can he still fight? Seeing Yi Chunfeng's figure rapidly approaching, Elder Wu revealed an expression of disbelief. He couldn't believe that Yi Chunfeng's body's endurance far exceeded his. It's over. Wrath of divine punishment, destroy. Ancient profound ice, green spiritual fire, and purple spiritual lightning surged out of Yi Chunfeng's body and gathered into endless destructive light lotuses. They bombarded Elder Wu's face, whose expression had changed greatly. Boom! A thunderous sound exploded as the destructive storm swept through the entire space, directly swallowing the heavily injured Elder Wu. Several defensive barriers were directly shattered. Thunder exploded, flames exploded, and ice roared. The destructive scene made everyone present feel fear. Even the peerless kings of the Huang and Luo families' expressions changed greatly. The destructive storm rampaged, and more than half of the sturdy arena disappeared. On the second floor of the Slaughter Tower, Elder Wu, who had supreme authority, had his body almost destroyed and lost his ability to fight. "You really shouldn't have taken my things." At this time, Yi Chunfeng, who was also seriously injured and was barely holding on with his obsession, appeared behind him. Using the Blood Dragon King armor to resist the destructive storm, he pressed his right hand on Yi Chunfeng's head and activated the soul-devouring art to devour his spiritual beast. When the destructive storm gradually dissipated, Yi Chunfeng, who was pale and covered in blood, walked out of the ruined arena. Elder Wu lay on the ground with empty eyes. He had lost both his spiritual beast and his life. Mobile reading site, book address. To make it easier for you to read it next time, you can click on the save button below to record this reading record. You will be able to see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 284. Elder Wu is dead. Looking at Elder Wu's corpse lying motionless in the ruins, The Huang clan and Luo clan elders widened their eyes in disbelief at the scene in front of them. Although they had expected that Elder Wu might have been defeated by Yi Chen-feng, they had never imagined that Yi Chen-feng had the strength to kill him. A level 2 mystic beast grandmaster killing a king? Is this true? The green-dressed lady and the linen-robed elder looked at each other and could see the shock in each other's eyes. Chen-feng, are you all right? Yu Nikhang looked at the bloody and heavily injured Yi Chen-feng walking out of the ruins. She immediately ran over and held his bloody arm as she asked anxiously, "I'm fine. Let's go back." Yi Chen-feng shook his head and straightened his back. Under the gazes of reverence, he and Yu Nikhang left the quiet martial arena. "Nikhang, my injuries are too heavy. Quickly go and rent a cultivation room. I need to heal as soon as possible." Although Yi Chen-feng had used the wrath of divine retribution to kill Elder Wu, his body had also been damaged beyond recognition by the violent destructive energy. If it weren't for the terrifying recovery ability of the Heaven's Fate Water, he would have collapsed long ago. After about an incense stick's worth of time, Yu Nikhang had rented an advanced cultivation room on the second floor of the Tower Slaughter. When Yi Chen-feng, who had bitterly persevered by relying on his stubbornness, entered the cultivation room, he could no longer hold on. His body softened, and he fell headfirst into Moon Raymond's bosom. So soft. This was the last thought that flashed through Yi Chen-feng's mind before his vision turned black and he fainted. What? The fourth elder is dead. He was killed by that Yi Chen-feng. When the head of the Wu family, Wu Tuahong, learned that Yi Chen-feng had killed an elder of the Wu family in front of everyone, he was stunned for a moment before a towering rage was emitted from his body. The Wu clan had a total of 5 absolute kings. Now that the fourth elder had been killed, the Wu clan's overall strength had been greatly affected. Who can tell me what level that Yi Chen-feng is at? How could he kill the fourth elder? Wu Tuahong roared with a gloomy expression. Patriarch, that Yi Chen-feng's identity is not simple at all. It is extremely likely that he came from a terrifying holy land. We should figure out his identity before thinking of a way to deal with him. Otherwise, the Wu family will probably attract a lot of trouble. The great elder of the Wu clan, who wore a black robe and had a goatee, spoke cautiously. His eyes were shining brightly. Of course I know that he is not simple. Otherwise, I would not have alarmed great elder Shui and asked us to deal with him. Wu Tuahong said gloomily, but since he dared to kill the fourth elder, we can't just let him go. Great elder, quickly bring 200,000 slaughter points to the slaughter pagoda and bribe the experts there to deal with him. I want him to die without a burial ground in the slaughter pagoda. Wu Tuahong's eyes flashed with a ruthless light. He had decided to stop at nothing to kill Yi Chen-feng. Shadow, have you heard? That Yi Chen-feng killed the Wu clan's peerless king, the fourth elder, on the second floor of the slaughter pagoda. The gloomy Shui Kaluo found Shadow and told him about Yi Chen-feng killing the Wu clan's great elder. I heard that too. No wonder he is a top genius nurtured by a rank 8 holy land. His potential is too terrifying. Shadow, whose entire body had merged with the darkness, opened his eyes and said coldly, Shadow, how long until the king comes out of seclusion? Shui Kaluo asked with a serious expression. If all goes well, the king will come out in 2 months, Shadow said coldly. All right, we will do our best to cause trouble for him in these 2 months and wait for the king to come out. Shui Kaluo did not dare to make the decision to deal with Yi Chen-feng on his own, so he had no choice but to make the decision. Just as Shui Kaluo and the Wu clan were thinking of ways to cause trouble for Yi Chen-feng, Yi Chen-feng finally woke up. Chen-feng, how do you feel? Are your injuries serious? Yu Nikhang, who had been silently watching over Yi Chen-feng for 2 days and 2 nights, let out a long sigh of relief and asked with concern, I'm fine. My injuries have healed. While Yi Chen-feng was unconscious, the soul-devouring art he cultivated had been operating on its own. While absorbing the rich spirit energy in the advanced cultivation room, he had also refined the Wu clan's 4th elder's spiritual beast and healed his injuries. After 2 days of healing, Yi Chen-feng had not only healed his injuries, but his strength had also greatly improved. His soul power was almost overflowing, and he had reached the peak of rank 2 profound beast ancestor. After recovering from his injuries, Yi Qianfeng immediately took a bath and washed away the bloodstains on his body. He took out the yin-yang ring he had obtained from killing the Wu clan's elder. God-devouring brain break. Using the power of the God-devouring brain, Yi Qianfeng easily broke the seal on the yin-yang ring and released his soul power into it. 53,000 slaughter points. As expected of the Wu clan's elder, he's really rich. In addition to the slaughter points, Yi Qianfeng had also obtained the 1,000-year blood peach, the red leaf tranquil lotus, the cultivation manual for the high-grade heaven class soul skill soul suppressing tablet, the cultivation manual for the mid-grade heaven class soul skill soul rending claw, 3 top-grade earth class weapons, and a large number of precious materials for refining array patterns. In particular, the cultivation manual for the high-grade heaven class soul skill soul suppressing tablet was priceless. Yi Qianfeng decided to find time to cultivate it and increase his skills. In high-grade soul crystals. There are actually 3,000 high-grade soul crystals in this Wu clan's elder's yin-yang ring. At the end of the inspection, Yi Qianfeng found a box seal with a large number of array patterns in the ring. When he broke the array patterns on the surface of the box, Yi Qianfeng was surprised to find that there were 3,000 high-grade soul crystals in the box. With these 3,000 high-grade soul crystals, in addition to the 1,100 high-grade soul crystals and 10 demon heart crystals, the sword puppet would be able to display the strength of a peerless king. It would greatly increase his trump card. Let's go, Nick Hang. Let's go to the martial arena. We need to quickly obtain 10 consecutive victories and head to the 3rd floor of the slaughter tower. After putting the Wu clan elder's belongings into his yin-yang bag, Yi Qianfeng changed into a clean set of clothes and left the advanced cultivation room with Yu Nick Hang, heading to the martial arena. Arriving at the bustling martial arena, Yi Qianfeng found that the martial arena that he had destroyed during his battle with the Wu clan elder had already been repaired. On several martial arenas, there were martial artists fighting fiercely and thunderous explosions rang out incessantly. Look, the person who killed Elder Wu has come to the martial arena again. What? Elder Wu was killed by him? You're not lying to me, are you? That person looks so young. What do you know? A peerless genius like him cannot be judged with common sense. I wonder if anyone dares to challenge him today? When Yi Qianfeng's figure appeared in the martial arena, he immediately became the focus of attention. Countless pairs of reverent eyes were cast towards him as they discussed spiritedly. Young Master Yi, your strength has already far surpassed the 2nd floor of the slaughter tower. We will allow you to obtain all the points on the 2nd floor and directly enter the 3rd floor. And Miss, you will also obtain all the slaughter points on the 2nd floor and directly enter the 3rd floor. Just as Yi Qianfeng and Yu Nick Hang were preparing to challenge each other, a tall and beautiful peerless king of the Luo clan appeared in front of Yi Qianfeng. She wore a dark green silk dress, and her sexy figure swayed as she spoke in a pleasant voice. Thank you. Yi Qianfeng nodded to the green-dressed woman. After expressing his thanks, he and Yu Nick Hang each received 11,000 slaughter points. Then, they passed through the transmission array and entered the 3rd floor of the slaughter tower. For mobile users, please visit /Asia, remember URL. Sandwich Chinese Network. Chapter 285. I really don't know which almighty being built this tower of slaughter. Yi Qianfeng and Yu Nick Hang teleported to the 3rd level of the slaughter pagoda and realized that it was still vast and boundless. There were cultivation grounds, markets, and battle arenas. There were even brothels and casinos that could make people intoxicated and unable to extricate themselves. Another newcomer is on the 3rd level of the slaughter pagoda, and it's a hot beauty. Yi Qianfeng and Yu Nick Hang had just teleported to the 3rd level of the slaughter pagoda when they were targeted. Let's go and tell these 2 newcomers the rules of the 3rd level of the slaughter pagoda. Sensing that Yi Qianfeng and Yu Nichang's cultivation levels weren't high, and Yu Nick Hang was too charming, 2 men who had been on the 3rd level for many years couldn't hold back their restless hearts and intercepted them. Little brothers, is there anything I can help you with? Yu Nikhang looked at the two men in black robes who were Class 5 mystic beast ancestors and revealed a charming smile, like a blooming flower, as she asked delicately. Beauty, the third level of the Slaughter Pagoda, is very difficult to obtain. Since you are so beautiful, why don't you follow us two brothers and not this trash? A trash like him won't be able to survive for more than 3 days on the third level of the Slaughter Pagoda. Looking at the charming Yu Nikhang with a charming smile, the two men in black robes were completely attracted by her beauty and spoke with ill intentions. Buzz, buzz. As soon as the two of them finished speaking, two purple spiritual thunders that were compressed to the extreme surged out of Yi Qinfeng's body. With a thunderous roar that shook one's mind, they blasted towards their heads. Not good. The two of them didn't expect Yi Qinfeng to be so bold and actually dare to make a move in public. They immediately merged with their spirit beasts and burst out with all their strength to resist. Rumble! The purple spiritual thunders exploded and released an endless destructive force. It smashed the two men's defense like breaking dry weeds and smashed into their bodies, sending them flying. Large amounts of blood spurted out from their mangled bodies and dyed the ground red. Trash! Yi Qinfeng's cold eyes swept over the two of them with disdain. He spat out 2 words and left with Yu Nikhang, who was full of smiles. Qinfeng, tell me honestly, were you jealous just now? Yu Nikhang intimately hugged Yi Qinfeng's arm and said with a charming smile. No. Looking at Yu Nichang's charming smile, Yi Qinfeng shook his head and denied. Really? Why don't I believe you? Yu Nikhang blinked her beautiful big eyes and looked straight at Yi Qinfeng. She opened her red lips slightly and said seductively, If you admit it, I'm in a good mood. Maybe I can give you a kiss. All right, Nikhang, don't tempt me anymore. Looking at Yu Nichang's tender red lips and crafty eyes, Yi Qinfeng helplessly shook his head and changed the topic. Let's go. Let's go to the treasure pavilion and take a look. Che, a guy who says one thing and means another. Yu Nikhang muttered with some dissatisfaction in her heart. However, she hugged Yi Qinfeng's arm even tighter. I wonder if there's anything I need on the 3rd floor of the Tower of Slaughter? The Tower of Slaughter attracted Yi Qinfeng not only because of the tempering between life and death, but also because he could use slaughter points to exchange for precious spiritual treasures. What do the two of you want to exchange for? When Yi Qinfeng and Yu Nikhang walked into the antique treasure pavilion, an old man wearing a gray robe and gold-rimmed glasses came up to them and asked politely, Does your esteemed pavilion have sanguine soul grass, 1,000-year sundew grass, or myriad fruit? Yi Qinfeng asked, We don't have sanguine soul grass, but we do have 1,000-year sundew grass and myriad fruit in our treasure pavilion. However, because 1,000-year sundew grass and myriad fruit are necessary materials to refine a heaven-step soul pill, the price is a bit expensive. The gray-robed old man said. Yi Qinfeng's heart stirred. He suppressed his pleasant surprise and asked without changing his expression, How many slaughter points do I need to exchange for 1,000-year sundew grass and myriad fruit? Exchanging for 2 spirit grasses requires 60,000 slaughter points. However, Sir has the 100 victories badge, so you only need to pay 54,000 slaughter points. The gray-robed old man noticed the 100 victories badge on Yi Qinfeng's shoulder and took the initiative to lower the price. All right, I'll buy it. Yi Qinfeng didn't even think about it. He paid 54,000 slaughter points without hesitation in exchange for all the materials needed to refine the 3-aperture heavenly pill. That's right, boss. Do you have an alchemy furnace to exchange for? I also need an alchemy furnace. Although Yi Qinfeng had the green serene spirit fire that could greatly increase his alchemy speed, refining a heaven-step pill was extremely difficult. If he wasn't careful, then he could fail. In order to increase his chances of success, Yi Qinfeng needed to exchange for a high-quality alchemy furnace. Alchemy furnaces are relatively rare treasures, so my treasure pavilion doesn't have any. However, I can give you some information. If you really need an alchemy furnace, you can go to the Slaughter Outer City and look for someone called Eternal Vengeance. He has an alchemy furnace that has been passed down for a long time. However, that person's temperament is a bit strange. Many people want his alchemy furnace, but no one has been able to obtain it. So, whether or not you can obtain it from him will depend on your ability. The shopkeeper revealed an important piece of information to Yi Chenfeng. Eternal Vengeance, what a strange name. Yi Chenfeng muttered to himself. After thanking the shopkeeper, he left with Yu Nikhang. He planned to rent a practice room, first before heading to the martial arena. Pondheart Residence. The environment here is not bad. Let's rent it. Looking at an inn built next to a pond not far away, Yi Chenfeng and Yu Nikhang walked over. Just as the two of them arrived at the entrance of the High Exian residence, which was made from a single piece of spirit stone, Yi Chenfeng's sharp senses suddenly felt a strong, killing intent locking onto him. He immediately stopped in his tracks and turned around. From afar, he saw a blurry figure flying towards him at an extremely fast speed. Peerless King, seeing the person flying over condense a pair of light red soul wings, Yi Chenfeng's pupils shrank. His face revealed a trace of seriousness. Although he had killed a rank 1 reverse Beast King Elder of the Wu family on the second floor of the Slaughter Tower, he had paid a heavy price in that battle and had almost lost his life. And this person who had locked onto him with killing intent was clearly stronger than the Wu family elder. He was a great threat. Yi Chenfeng, I've finally found you. A man wearing a black skeleton robe with a pair of light red wings and exuding a fierce killing intent looked down at Yi Chenfeng with a ferocious expression. Who are you? Yi Chenfeng looked coldly at the black-robed man. He frowned slightly and asked in a low voice, My name is Sun Lei, and I come from the 4th floor of the Slaughter Tower. I am a king of the 4th floor. I've come to find you today to kill you. Sun Lei grinned, not hiding his intentions at all. Kill me? I don't think I've provoked you. Although Yi Chenfeng felt that Sun Lei was very terrifying, his expression did not change at all as he coldly replied. Indeed, you haven't provoked me, but someone has put a bounty of 100,000 killing points on your head. I think that besides me, many people are looking for you. Moreover, the woman beside you is to my liking. So, you'll definitely die today. Sun Lei licked his scarlet lips. He looked at Yu Nichang's hot body with a burning gaze and said domineeringly, According to the rules of the Tower of Slaughter, you, who is on the 4th floor of the Tower of Slaughter, shouldn't be able to do anything to me. Yi Chenfeng ignored the murderous intent in Sun Lei's eyes and said fearlessly, That's right. The Slaughter Tower does have such a rule. However, as long as I'm fast, no one will know that I've been here. As he spoke, a thunderbird appeared on Sun Lei's body. An earth-shattering killing intent exploded from his body and locked onto Yi Chenfeng. He wanted to use his own strength to kill Yi Chenfeng and snatch Yu Nikhang away. For mobile users, please visit /Mpiatia, remember the URL. Sandwich Chinese Network. Chapter 286. How did you do it? Roar. When Sun Lei's fused spiritual beast made a move, a high-pitched dragon roar resounded. The double-headed Blood Dragon King, which was over 3,000 meters long, appeared on Yi Chenfeng's body and roared toward the sky. When Yi Chenfeng fused with the double-headed Blood Dragon King, Yi Chenfeng's strength rose steadily, and he soon broke through to the peak of Class 6 Mystic Beast Ancestor. Double-headed Blood Dragon, you actually have such a powerful spiritual beast. Seeing Yi Chenfeng's spiritual beast, Sun Lei revealed a trace of surprise. However, his attack did not slow down. A top-grade Earth-rank heavy axe made of crystal appeared in his hand. Earth-splitting axe, a shocking axe-light cut through the void and chopped towards Yi Chenfeng at a speed faster than light. 8 Slaughter, Azura Art. Sun Lei's threat was too great. After being attacked by the earth-splitting axe, Yi Chenfeng felt a strong threat of death. He didn't dare to be careless and continuously used powerful trump cards to increase his attack power to meet Sun Lei's attack head-on. 2 killing halos appeared behind him. His sword aura was perfect. 250,000 pounds of strength were all poured into the gigantic Fault Heavenly Sword, an eternal night sword light that stole all the light shot into the sky. It carried a shocking sword might as it bombarded the earth-shattering axe light. Rumble. The 2 soul skills clashed together, creating 1,000 ripples. Terrifying thunderous roars could be heard as a destructive storm swept through the heavens and earth, causing cracks to appear on the ground. The pool beside the Heart Pond residence started to churn violently. Sensing the danger, the Tan Heart residence activated its restrictions in time. However, the destructive power produced by the collision of the two soul skills was too terrifying, and the restrictions protecting the Tan Heart residence were almost shattered. Brat, I'll spare your life today, but I'll definitely kill you in the future. Although Sun Lei's strength was terrifying, he didn't dare to ignore the rules of the Tower of Slaughter. After failing to kill Yi Chenfeng, he didn't dare to stay for long. After leaving behind a ruthless sentence, his light red soul wings flapped violently, creating gusts of wind as he flew away at an extremely fast speed. Chenfeng, are you all right? Yu Nikhang, who was hiding far away, saw that Yi Chenfeng's aura was in chaos, and his right hand was bleeding profusely. Her heart tightened, and she quickly ran over and asked anxiously, "I'm fine." Yi Chenfeng took a deep breath and forcefully suppressed the surging blood energy in his body. He said in a low voice, "Let's go. We'll slaughter our way to the outer city and find that young Cho to buy an alchemy furnace to refine pills." After experiencing Lei Sen's power, Yi Chenfeng felt that he had to turn into a beast soul to have a fighting chance. But if he revealed his beast soul form in front of everyone, he would be in even more danger. Perhaps even King of Killers would be alerted and come after him. Hence, if he wanted to extricate himself from the dangerous situation, he could only refine the 3-aperture heavenly pill. Once he refined the 3 orifices heavenly pill, Yi Chenfeng was completely confident that he could borrow the powerful medicinal strength of the 3 orifices heavenly pill to break through to the 3rd level of the mystic beast ancestor realm. At that time, he would be able to deal with the danger brought by the high bounty. "Chenfeng, do you have a way to buy an alchemy furnace?" Yu Nikhang asked softly as she followed Yi Chenfeng out of the massacre pagoda. "I don't have absolute confidence. Let's wait until we meet that young Cho." Soon, Yi Chenfeng and Yu Nikhang arrived at the outer city of the massacre pagoda. After asking around, they found out where Young Cho lived. Array patterns. This place where Young Cho lives is actually filled with array patterns. Yi Chenfeng and Yu Nikhang arrived at Young Cho's inconspicuous courtyard by the seaside. Yi Chenfeng's sharp senses detected a powerful array pattern power in the courtyard. "Nikhang, wait for me outside. I'll go in and meet him myself." Sensing that the courtyard was filled with mysteries, Yi Chenfeng didn't let Yu Nikhang take the risk. He walked into the courtyard alone. Stepping into the courtyard, the scene in front of Yi Chenfeng immediately changed. A huge iron-jawed divine crocodile that was emitting death aura suddenly appeared. It opened its bloody mouth and bit towards his head. Illusion. As the power of the God-Eater brain kept increasing, Yi Chenfeng's attainment in array patterns was getting deeper. He could see that the iron-jawed divine crocodile was just an illusion formed by array patterns. It didn't have any attacking power. However, if he was scared and attacked blindly, he might trigger other array patterns and form a real attack. God-Eater brain, break array pattern. A powerful restriction breaking force was deduced in his deep eyes and shot towards the iron jaw divine crocodile that was roaring and biting towards him. In the next moment, the ferocious iron jaw divine crocodile's body turned into dense water ripples and dissipated with the wind. Everything returned to normal. Eternal vengeance. I have no ill intentions this time. I just want to make a deal with you. Please show yourself. Yi Chenfeng stood at the entrance of the courtyard and spoke in a deep voice. I don't want to see anyone and have no interest in making a deal with you. You can go back now. A hoarse voice rang out in the courtyard. Before the deal is made, I will not leave. Yi Chenfeng stood proudly and said stubbornly. With the God-Eater brain's quick deduction, he walked into the courtyard that was filled with array patterns. You're courting death. In the stone house without any light in the courtyard, Eternal Vengeance, who was wearing a black robe and shrouded in darkness, was instantly enraged when he saw Yi Chenfeng insist on barging into the courtyard. He quickly manipulated the array patterns in the courtyard and formed a real attack. Rumble, A large number of array patterns turned into heavenly lightning that filled the sky and roared in midair. They carried a shocking destructive force and bombarded Yi Chen-feng. Green spiritual fire, purple spiritual thunder, ancient cold mystic ice, defend. Facing the concentrated attack of heavenly lightning, Yi Chen-feng immediately controlled the three spiritual objects to surge out of his body and gather above his head to block the attacks of the heavenly lightning. Spiritual fire, spiritual thunder, spiritual water. How did you do it? Eternal Vengeance, who was shrouded in darkness, saw the three spiritual objects surge out of Yi Chen-feng's body and quickly gather. His eyes were filled with shock. He had never seen someone who could subdue three spiritual objects at the same time. What was even more terrifying was that Yi Chen-feng could make the three spiritual objects fuse together without exploding. God-Eater Brain, insight. While Eternal Vengeance was shocked, Yi Chen-feng's eyes once again shot out a large amount of restriction-breaking force into the array patterns and quickly deduced the weak points of the array patterns. Perfect sword presence, break. Yi Chen-feng pointed out with his finger. The perfect sword presence surged out and turned into a finger sword that spun at high speed and shot toward a certain spot in the array patterns at an astonishing speed. Facing the finger sword attack of the perfect sword presence, the array patterns that filled the sky with heavenly lightning were distorted, and a large amount of heavenly lightning exploded in midair. Buzz, buzz, buzz. After distorting the array patterns with one finger, the perfect sword presence erupted continuously and turned into more than 10 sword lights that attacked the weak points of the array patterns deduced by the God-Eater Brain. In an instant, a large amount of distorted space appeared in the array patterns and crushed the heavenly lightning that attacked Yi Chen-feng. The array patterns in the courtyard became extremely fragile. Instant kill sword. Seizing this opportunity, the titanic fault heaven sword flew out of the universe ring. The perfect sword presence revolved around the sword tip. The intertwining sword light was shocking and unstoppable as it pierced forward. Chi. The sound of cloth tearing echoed. Yi Chen-feng executed the instant kill sword and directly tore apart the array patterns, appearing outside the stone house in the courtyard. How'd you do it? Seeing the array patterns that he had spent a lot of effort to set up being destroyed by Yi Chen-feng's sword, Eternal Vengeance's heart trembled and set off a huge wave as he exclaimed in disbelief. Mobile reading website. Book address. For the convenience of your next reading, you can click on the Save button at the bottom to record this reading record. You will be able to see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 287. True Fire Furnace. Now, are you willing to see me? Yi Chen-feng's powerful soul locked onto Yong Cho in the stone house as he spoke in a deep voice. Your Excellency's attainments and formation patterns are indeed beyond my expectations, but I still don't want to make a deal with you. Please leave. Yong Cho suppressed the shock in his heart and said in a hoarse voice, but his tone was much more polite. I'm sorry, but you have a treasure that is extremely important to me. If I can't get it, I won't leave. Yi Chen-feng's current situation was not good. In order to increase his strength as soon as possible, he had to obtain Yong Chao's inherited alchemy furnace. You're here for my alchemy furnace, right? Hearing Yi Chen-feng's resolute tone, Yong Cho, who was in the stone house, was silent for a minute before asking. That's right. I'm here precisely for the alchemy furnace, but I'm not asking for it. I'm merely borrowing it, Yi Chen-feng said, and I'm confident that the price I offer will satisfy you. I'm a person who is about to die. My desire for external objects is no longer strong. As for that alchemy furnace, it is my life's work. Even if you have a heaven artifact, I will not lend it to you. Yong Cho said hoarsely, his voice filled with a deathly stillness. What if I can help you take revenge? Yi Chen-feng pondered for a moment and said. Buzz. Just as Yi Chen-feng finished speaking, Eternal Chao's aura became chaotic. Clearly, Yi Chen-feng's words had revealed the secret in his heart, disturbing his already dead heart. Who are you? Yong Chao's words became sharp, and his voice revealed sternness and vigilance. Looks like I guessed right. You're someone with a story. Otherwise, Most people wouldn't give you such a weird name. Hearing the change in Yong Chao's voice, Yi Chenfeng knew that his guess was correct. He slowly said, "If I agree to avenge you, would you be willing to lend me your alchemy furnace?" "You're right. I do have a blood feud on my shoulders, but you're too weak. You can't help me take revenge," Yong Cho said after a minute of silence. "If your enemy isn't a level 2 Beast King, I can immediately avenge you. If your enemy is a level 2 Beast King or above, I'll avenge you within 10 years, Yi Chenfeng promised. "Don't you think you're a bit too arrogant? You think you can kill an absolute king with your level 2 profound beast ancestor cultivation?" Yong Cho said without any trace of politeness. "Realm doesn't represent strength, does it?" With that, a high-pitched dragon roar resounded. The two-headed blood dragon king, whose body was over 3,000 meters long, was covered in scales that were over 1 meter wide, and had 2 large and sinister dragon heads, appeared on Yi Chenfeng's body. "Dragon, your spiritual beast, is actually a dragon." Like the others, Yong Cho was shocked to see Yi Chenfeng's spiritual beast, the two-headed blood dragon king. "Although I'm only a level 2 profound beast ancestor, I have the strength to kill an absolute king. If you don't believe me, you can go to the 2nd floor of the Slaughter Tower and ask around. A few days ago, I just killed an absolute king of the Wu family." With that, Yi Chenfeng took out the identity token he had obtained from killing the Wu family elder and threw it through the window into the dark stone house. "The door isn't closed. Come in." Yong Cho glanced at the Wu family elder's identity token lying on the cold ground. After 3 breaths of silence, he lit up the dark stone house and said in a hoarse voice. Stepping in, Yi Chenfeng saw Yong Cho sitting cross-legged on a stone bed. He was wearing a black robe and had a skinny body, looking like a skeleton. When he saw Yong Chao's face, his expression changed slightly, revealing a look of shock. Yong Chao's face was completely disfigured. His blurry facial features were almost glued together, and it was impossible to distinguish his nose and mouth. More importantly, he saw deathly stillness and despair in Eternal Vengeance's remaining eyes. There was not a trace of life in his body, as if he was a walking corpse. "Tell me who your enemy is, and I'll avenge you." Yi Chenfeng quickly regained his composure and looked calmly at Yong Chao's disfigured face. "Perhaps I'm the only one who can avenge you. If you miss this opportunity, I'm afraid you'll regret it for the rest of your life." "Gotcha." As soon as Yi Chenfeng finished speaking, the stone bed under Yong Cho suddenly shattered. An energy that made Yi Chenfeng feel suffocated gushed out and shot toward Yi Chenfeng at an extremely fast speed. 8-Sha Azura Technique, Slaughter Halo. Facing the sudden attack, Yi Chenfeng did not panic. 2 Slaughter Halos appeared behind him, increasing his attacking power by 2 folds. Following that, his sword aura was perfected. 350,000 gene of strength was poured into the gigantic Fault Heavenly Sword, activating the 81 attacking runes on the sword and maximizing the attacking power of the sword. Slaughter 4th Style, Eternal Night. An Eternal Night sword light that stole the light from the stone room slashed out, drawing a deep sword scar in the dark night and hacking at the terrifying energy at close range. Rumble. A powerful explosion rang out in the stone room. The terrifying energy was like a tsunami that spread out in all directions, instantly causing the only stone room in the courtyard to collapse. The runes above the courtyard trembled violently. Tap, tap, tap. Facing the thunderous attack from the stone bed head-on, Yi Chenfeng was pushed back by the powerful aftershock. The blood in his body roiled violently, and the arm that was holding the gigantic Fault Heavenly Sword felt numb. "You really do have the strength to fight against a peerless king." Earlier, when Yong Cho detonated the stone bed, he did not want to kill Yi Chenfeng. Instead, he wanted to test Yi Chenfeng's strength. When Yong Cho saw that Yi Chenfeng, a 2nd-grade profound beast ancestor, was able to block the power of the seal under the stone bed, he believed in Yi Chenfeng's strength. "Now, can you tell me who your enemy is?" Yi Chenfeng took a deep breath and suppressed the boiling blood in his body as he spoke in a low voice. "All right, I'll make a bet before I die. Cho took a deep breath and said, "My enemy is the king of the 5th floor of the Slaughter Tower, blood-slaughtering Sword King. His strength is at the peak of the 1st level, and he's only a step away from the 2nd level. If you can help me kill him, I'll give you the true fire furnace. I'll remember your enemy. I'll bring his head to you in 3 months at the latest." Yi Chen-feng promised. As long as he refined the 3-aperture heavenly pellet and reached the 4th level, Yi Chen-feng was confident that he could kill a peak of the 1st level. 3 months? You're really that confident? Cho said doubtfully. There's an entire realm difference between the two of you. I'll naturally do what I say, but the prerequisite is that you have to lend me the true fire furnace. I need it to refine pills and increase my strength. Yi Chen-feng nodded. All right, I'll trust you this time. Cho looked deeply at Yi Chen-feng for a full minute. Seeing that his eyes were incomparably clear, he clenched his teeth and decided to take a gamble. He took out a palm-sized, fiery red true fire furnace with Taotai runes engraved on its surface. I'll lend you this true fire furnace for 3 months. If you can't keep your promise and don't return it within 3 months, I'll detonate the restrictions on it and destroy it. Cho gently caressed the true fire furnace as if he was caressing his lover. He reluctantly handed it over to Yi Chen-feng and solemnly warned, I'll bring the blood-slaughtering Sword King's head to you within 3 months. Yi Chen-feng promised. With that, Yi Chen-feng put the true fire furnace into his spatial pouch and turned to leave. Mobile reading site, book address. For the convenience of your next reading, you can click on the Save button at the bottom to record this reading. You'll see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 288. 3-Orifice Heaven Pill. How was it, Chen-feng? Did you get the alchemy furnace from that person? Seeing Yi Chen-feng, whose clothes were a little messy, walk out of the courtyard, Yu Nishang, who had been waiting outside, immediately went up and asked, I got it. Let's go back to the inner city. Yi Chen-feng nodded and returned to the inner city with Yu Nikhang. They rented a high-grade cultivation room in the inner city. Nikhang, stand guard for me. Don't let anyone disturb me. I want to refine a furnace of heaven-rank spirit pills, Yi Chen-feng said solemnly. Heaven-rank spirit pills. Yu Nikhang was shocked to hear that Yi Chen-feng wanted to refine heaven-rank spirit pills. She knew how difficult it was to refine heaven-rank spirit pills. Even in her family, only one person had the ability to refine heaven-rank spirit pills. Moreover, the success rate was not high. If Yi Chen-feng could refine heaven-rank spirit pills as a rank 2 mystic beast ancestor, it would shock the entire Duhan continent. Chen-feng, don't worry. I won't let anyone disturb you. Yu Nikhang nodded and promised. Oh. Yi Chen-feng took a deep breath and sat cross-legged on the wooden bed. He adjusted his state while controlling the God-Eater brain to simulate the refining process. There weren't many alchemists in the Duhan continent, and high-level alchemists were even rarer. The reason why Yi Chen-feng was so confident in refining a heaven-rank soul elixir was because of the alchemy fragments in God-Eater's brain. He believed that the fragments in the God-Eater brain were far superior to the alchemy inheritances in the Duhan continent. It was enough for him to refine 3-Orifice Heaven Pill. In about a day's time, Yi Chen-feng had gone through the process of concocting pills over 100 times in his mind. When he felt that the time was right, he took out the cloud horse, red leaf sunyo lotus, 1,000-year sundew grass, 10,000-year fruit, 8-eyed toad's demonic core, sea heart spring, and the fiery red true fire cauldron. He even took out a mouthful of heavenly fate water, just in case. Green spiritual fire, concoct pills. The green spiritual fire slowly rose from Yi Chen-feng's palm and enveloped the palm-sized true fire furnace. Instantly, a large amount of red light shone on the surface of the true fire furnace, and the Taotai markings became even clearer. Boom! Yi Chen-feng fiercely slapped the true fire furnace. The lid of the true fire furnace flew up, and a large amount of red flames gushed out of the true fire furnace. The temperature of the entire cultivation room rose sharply. Yunji horse, enter. Yi Qianfeng glanced at the 6 spiritual items. First, he threw the main ingredient, the cloud lotus horse, which looked like a small crystal horse, into the true fire furnace. Suddenly, a refreshing medicinal fragrance gushed out from the true fire furnace. The cloud horse that was wrapped in red flames melted, and the impurities in its body were constantly refined by the true fire furnace. Refining impurities was the first step of concocting pills, and it was also the simplest step. However, because Yi Qianfeng was concocting a heaven pill, he could not waste any spiritual energy when refining impurities. Therefore, the difficulty of refining impurities was also very high. Minutes and seconds passed. The cloud lotus horse turned into spirit liquid and sizzled under the true fire furnace's refinement. As the impurities were refined bit by bit, the spirit liquid in the furnace became purer and purer. Finally, it turned into a pigeon egg-sized, milky white spirit liquid that contained powerful medicinal energy. Red leaf Sangyo lotus. After successfully refining the cloud lotus horse's spirit liquid, Yi Qianfeng threw the red leaf Sangyo lotus into the true fire furnace, where the red flames were rolling, and continued the refinement. The red leaf Sangyo lotus spirit energy was obviously weaker than the cloud lotus horse, and the difficulty of refining it was much lower. However, Yi Qianfeng still did not dare to be careless. He focused his mind and constantly formed complicated hand seals to control the true fire furnace to refine the liquid essence. One exquisite alchemy technique. What an exquisite flame control. Where did Qianfeng learn alchemy from? He can't really be able to concoct a heaven-ranked soul pill, right? Looking at Yi Qianfeng's serious expression, Yu Niking couldn't help but be attracted by his serious face. She couldn't help but look forward to it. Yu Niking originally thought that she understood Yi Qianfeng very well. However, after seeing his exquisite alchemy technique, Yu Niking discovered that Yi Qianfeng was a bottomless pit. No one knew how many secrets he was hiding. Soon, the red-leafed Sangyo lotus turned into a red and black liquid essence. Yi Qianfeng did not hesitate and threw the 1,000-year sundew grass into the true fire furnace. After about a day, Yi Qianfeng successfully refined the cloud lotus horse, red leaf Sangyo lotus, 1,000-year sundew grass, and wanxiang fruit into liquid essences. After swallowing half a mouthful of the water of heavenly fate, he recovered the soul power he had consumed. Then, he threw the 8-eyed toad monster core, which was the most difficult to refine, into the true fire furnace. Suddenly, a violent energy exploded within the true fire furnace. The tyrannical energy was like a wild horse that had broken free of its reins, attacking the true fire furnace. The sound of metal colliding rang out within the true fire furnace. Green spirit fire set the universe. Feeling the true fire furnace tremble more and more violently, Yi Qianfeng increased the intensity of the green spirit fire, forcibly stabilizing the true fire furnace and quickly refining the 8-eyed toad monster core. Fortunately, the true fire furnace had reached the rank of top-quality earth rank, and Yi Qianfeng also had the green spirit fire. Slowly, the violent energy released by the 8-eyed toad monster core weakened and finally calmed down. Phew, finally finished refining. After condensing the 8-eyed toad monster core into liquid essence, Yi Qianfeng let out a long sigh of relief. He poured the sea heart source into the true fire furnace and began the most important and most difficult process of condensing the monster core. It was very difficult for an ordinary alchemist to successfully condense the monster core without dozens of years of alchemy experience. However, Yi Qianfeng, who had fused with the God-Eater brain, had an alchemy heritage and experience that no other alchemist in the entire Dun continent had. Condense. Yi Qianfeng made dozens of complicated hand seals in succession and merged them into the true fire furnace. He controlled the high concentration of the flames within the true fire furnace and condensed the several balls of liquid essence in the true fire furnace. The scorching flames rolled in the furnace, and the several balls of liquid essence began to slowly fuse with each other. Although there were many problems during the fusion process, and more than 10 times they almost failed at the last minute. Fortunately, Yi Chunfeng discovered them in time and resolved them one by one with the help of his alchemy heritage and experience. After about 2 days, 5 bean-sized, round, and smooth embryonic pills appeared in the true fire furnace. They were emitting black, white, and gray colors. Under the refinement of the rising flames, they spun and released an endless amount of medicinal energy. Finally finished condensing the monster core. Just one more step and I'll succeed. The exhausted Yi Chunfeng swallowed all of the water of heavenly secrets into his stomach. Then, he continued to make hand seals to control the green spiritual flame to refine pills. Smells so good. Chunfeng is really going to refine a heaven-level soul Dan. Smelling the fragrance of a monster core wafting out from the true fire furnace, Yu Nikhang, who had witnessed the miracle in the past few days, couldn't help but hold her breath and look at him in silence. She kept cheering for Yi Chunfeng in her heart. Pong! Yi Chunfeng, who was concentrating on concocting pills, suddenly slapped the boiling hot true fire cauldron, opening the cauldron's lid. A burst of flame, accompanied by a strong medicinal fragrance, gushed out from the true fire cauldron. In the next moment, 5 bean-sized, 3-colored pills flew out of the true fire furnace. Waves of spiritual energy spread out in all directions, causing one's mind to be greatly shaken with just a whiff. It's finally done. Yi Chunfeng, whose face was slightly pale and mentally exhausted, narrowed his eyes and grabbed the 5 bean-sized pills that flew into the air. They were only the size of a bean, but they contained extremely terrifying medicinal energy. A faint smile appeared on his face. After spending about 5 days, Yi Chunfeng, who had broken down several times, finally succeeded in refining the 5 priceless 3-aperture heavenly pills. Mobile reading website, book address. For the convenience of your next reading, you can click on the Save button at the bottom to record this reading record. You can see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 289. Breakthrough. Level 3 Mystic Beast Sect. Chunfeng, did you really succeed? Smelling the thick medicinal fragrance and looking at the 5 bean-sized 3-aperture heavenly pills in Yi Chunfeng's palm, Yu Nikhang felt like she was in a dream. At the age of 21, he possessed strength comparable to a peerless king, and he could also refine heaven-level soul pills. Yu Nikhang had no doubt that as long as Yi Chunfeng did not fall, he would definitely be able to stand at the peak of the Duhan continent. Yi Chunfeng's pale face revealed a faint smile as he nodded and said, "Yes, fortunately, I didn't disappoint you. I refined 5 3-orifices heavenly pills. These 2 3-apertures heavenly Dan are for you." Yi Chunfeng generously gave the 2 3-apertures heavenly Dan to Yu Nikhang. "Chunfeng, thank you." Yu Nikhang knew the value of the 3-apertures heaven pellet. With these 2 pills, she had no doubt that she could break through to the 6th level of the mystic beast ancestor realm in a short period of time. "Nikhang, aren't you touched?" Looking at Yu Nichang's excited expression, Yi Chunfeng revealed a faint smile and said, "That's right. I'm so excited that I want to give myself to you. I wonder if you'll give me this chance?" Yu Nichang revealed a mesmerizing smile as she spoke in a sweet voice. Yi Chunfeng, who was in a good mood, glanced at Yu Nichang's perky breasts and said jokingly, "Forget about giving yourself to me. My body can't withstand your ravaging." "Chunfeng, is this place nice?" Catching Yi Chunfeng's gaze, Yu Nikhang was not angry. Instead, she revealed an enchanting smile, straightened her plump body, and asked in a flirtatious manner. Looking at the undulating waves of Yu Nikhang, Yi Chunfeng gulped, not knowing how to answer. "Why would I dare to look, but not speak? Do you think I didn't see you sneaking glances at my breasts? Hurry up and confess. Do you like them or not? If you coax me, maybe I'll let you touch them in a moment of happiness and take advantage of you." The moon raiment was like a demoness, constantly tempting Yi Chunfeng. "Touch!" Yi Chunfeng's eyes widened as he looked at Yu Nichang's majestic peaks again. His heart itched. "Can I touch them first before I praise you?" I'm afraid you'll go back on your word. Yi Qinfeng, I find that you are becoming more and more shameless. You, Xiao, yes, Yu Nikhang said with a frustrated expression, which made Yi Qinfeng burst into laughter. After teasing Yu Nikhang for a while, Yi Qinfeng's tense mind relaxed after refining pills for a long time. He and Yu Nikhang adjusted their breathing and recovered for a while in the room, preparing to consume the three apertures heavenly pellet and break through to the third-level profound beast ancestor realm, further increasing their strength. Sword puppet, protect us. For the sake of caution, Yi Qinfeng summoned the sword puppet and ordered it to protect him, in case he was disturbed when he was breaking through. Everything was ready. Yi Qinfeng and Yu Nikhang sat at the two ends of the training room. Yi Qinfeng took out a three apertures heavenly pellet that was emitting a strong medicinal fragrance and threw it into his mouth. Immediately, a large amount of medicinal power was released from Yi Qinfeng's mouth. Like a surging tide, it flowed down his throat and poured into the meridians in his body. Soul-devouring tactic refined. The medicinal power of the three apertures heavenly pellet was released quickly. Yi Qinfeng immediately guarded his mind and ran the soul-devouring tactic over and over again to refine the surging medicinal power in his body and improve his strength. Huff, huff, affected by the rapid circulation of the soul-devouring incantation, the dense spirit qi in the advanced cultivation room was affected as well. It surged at an extremely fast speed and entered Yi Qinfeng's body, forming a spirit qi vortex above his head. Slowly, Yi Qinfeng's meridians were pushed open by the medicinal power of the three apertures heavenly pellet and the rich spirit qi. A tearing pain spread throughout his body, and a large amount of blood seeped out from the pores all over his body. The pain in his body grew stronger and stronger, but Yi Qinfeng, who was in a meditative state, endured it with his unyielding will. He quickly circulated the soul-devouring incantation, devouring the medicinal energy in his body and increasing his strength. After devouring the Wu family elder's spiritual beast, Yi Qinfeng's soul power was almost overflowing. Now that he was refining the three apertures heavenly pellet, his soul power quickly reached the overflowing level, and his spiritual beast, the two-headed blood dragon king, became even stronger. As expected of a heavenly pellet, the medicinal power it contains is too strong. In less than an hour, Yi Qinfeng, who had absorbed 2/3 of the medicinal power of the three apertures heavenly pellet, felt that his soul power was overflowing. The two-headed blood dragon king's soul power had also reached the limit of its realm and could not continue to grow. Level 3 Mystic Beast Ancestor Breakthrough. When the time was right, Yi Qinfeng did not suppress his realm anymore. He allowed the surging soul power in his body to break through the bottleneck and naturally broke through to the level 3 Mystic Beast Ancestor realm. Phew, I finally broke through. The moment he broke through, two sharp lights shot out from Yi Qinfeng's deep eyes. His soul power had increased by several times, and his spiritual beast, the two-headed blood dragon king, was even more terrifying. If he fought with Sun Lei again, Yi Qinfeng believed that he would definitely have the strength to fight. However, Yi Qinfeng knew that he still couldn't kill a peerless genius like Sun Lei with his current strength. It would only be possible if he broke through to the level 4 Mystic Beast Ancestor realm. After breaking through, Yi Qinfeng patiently ran the soul-devouring tactic to refine the remaining medicinal power in his body and continue to improve his strength. As the three apertures heavenly pellet's medicinal power completely merged with Yi Qinfeng's body, his soul power increased by 20%. However, a large amount of pill toxins appeared in his body, causing him to develop a strong resistance. This three apertures heavenly pellet had a lot of pill toxins. Sigh, it seems like I have to fight to grind out the pill toxins in my body before I can continue to take the three apertures heavenly pellet. Otherwise, it will be a huge waste of its medicinal power. Yi Qinfeng sighed softly in his heart and gave up on refining the second three apertures heavenly pellet to improve his strength. He was prepared to wait for Yu Nikhang to wake up from her cultivation and directly head to the third floor of the Tower of Slaughter to fight. Time slowly passed. Yu Nikhang, who was surrounded by demonic qi and enduring the pain, finally refined a 3 apertures heavenly pellet and raised her strength to the peak of the level 5 mystic beast ancestor realm. After refining a 3 apertures heavenly pellet, Yu Nikhang encountered the same situation as Yi Chenfeng. While her strength increased greatly, a large amount of pill toxins appeared in her body. She had no choice but to give up on breaking through to the level 6 mystic beast ancestor realm. Let's go, Nikhang. Let's go to the Tower of Slaughter. Yi Chenfeng's lips curled up slightly and revealed a trace of a wild smile. Don't let those people who are looking for me wait too long. Okay. Yu Nikhang nodded and left the advanced cultivation room with Yi Chenfeng. Through the Tower of Slaughter's transportation array, they directly arrived at the 3rd floor of the Tower of Slaughter and headed directly to the martial arena. When Yi Chenfeng and Yu Nikhang appeared in the martial arena, they immediately attracted the attention of many people. Pairs of cold and ruthless eyes were uniformly cast over and locked onto Yi Chenfeng, who was slowly walking over. Clearly, the high bounty offered by the Wu family had spread throughout the entire Tower of Slaughter. It caused many people to have a strong killing intent towards Yi Chenfeng. They wanted to kill him and use his head to exchange for 100,000 slaughter points. Yi Chenfeng was not afraid of the surrounding pairs of ruthless eyes. He gently leaped up like a large bird and landed on an empty martial arena. He exuded an unparalleled aura and said in a deep voice, Yi Chenfeng is here. Who want to fight? Mobile reading site. Book address. In order to make it easier for you to read next time, you can click on the save button at the bottom to record this reading record. Next time you open the bookshelf, you will see it. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 290. I'll take on as many as you come. What an arrogant brat. Looking at the invincible Yi Chenfeng and listening to his arrogant voice, the entire arena was in an uproar. Many martial artists who were confident in their strength were infuriated and were eager to challenge him. Let me. Suddenly, a chirping sound rang out. A girl in aqua blue martial attire, with a curvaceous figure and a pretty face, who was at the peak of the 5th level of the mystic beast ancestor realm, leaped onto the stage first. She held a top-grade, earth-tier longsword in her hand and pointed it at Yi Chenfeng. Her eyes were filled with battle intent. Come down quickly. You're not his match. At this time, a tall woman in a dark green military uniform shouted anxiously. Her skin was as white and delicate as milk. Her legs were straight and slender, and her long black hair was gently tied up. She gave off a clean and neat feeling. Cold Moon sword art. The blue-robed woman turned a deaf ear to the green-robed woman's shout. She quickly merged with her spirit beast, and an extremely sharp Cold Moon sword light streaked across the air, carrying a thick chill as it pierced towards Yi Chenfeng's throat. Frightening soul finger. The blue-robed woman thrust her sword. Yi Chenfeng did not use any weapon. He only extended his index finger and pressed it towards the Cold Moon sword light. The moment the frightening soul finger touched the Cold Moon sword light, a force of more than 700,000 Jin erupted, shattering the Cold Moon sword light and hitting the long sword in the blue-robed woman's hand. Suddenly, a terrifying rebounding force passed through the long sword and into the blue-robed woman's arm, causing her arm to go numb. Her right hand that was gripping the hilt of her sword trembled. Green bamboo shadow. Experiencing the terror of Yi Chenfeng, the blue-robed woman's expression changed slightly. However, she did not retreat due to her pride. Hundreds of green bamboo-like shadows surrounded her body, transforming into sword shadows and enveloping Yi Chenfeng with an incomparably sharp aura. What a mysterious sword art! Yi Chenfeng was full of praises for this picturesque swordsmanship, which had an excellent artistic conception and did not lose its sharpness, as he watched the sword light sweeping towards him like a green bamboo phantom. Let's see where you can hide this time. Seeing that Yi Chenfeng was about to be engulfed by the green bamboo-like sword shadows, a cold smile appeared on the blue-clothed woman's cold and arrogant face. She was prepared to continue her attack and defeat Yi Chenfeng in one fell swoop. Your swordsmanship is not bad, but it's a pity that you're too weak. You're unable to unleash its true power. After saying that, Yi Chenfeng suddenly took a step forward. The aura in his body instantly became fierce. 750,000 gene of strength erupted from his body, causing dense ripples to appear in the air. Cloud-shattering palm. With a palm strike, a terrifying airflow was formed in the air. The cloud-shattering palm strike, which was filled with 750,000 gene of strength, smashed onto the incoming sword shadow, tearing it apart like a hot knife through butter. Then, the palm struck towards the blue-clothed woman whose expression had changed greatly. How is this possible? The blue-clothed woman could not imagine that her strongest move would be so easily torn apart by Yi Chenfeng. Her expression changed greatly as she hastily dodged. Just as she dodged, Yi Chenfeng pointed his finger in the air. The finger sword, which was condensed from perfect sword force, shot out. It swallowed and spat out a sharp sword light as it pierced towards the blue-clothed woman. Young Master Yi, please be merciful. Yu Air has no ill intentions. Feeling the terror of Yi Chenfeng's finger, the green-clothed woman was so frightened that her face turned pale. She screamed out in alarm. The blue-clothed woman only saw a white flash in front of her eyes. All the hairs on her body stood up, and several strands of her long black hair drifted down with the wind. The finger sword had cut off several strands of the blue-clothed woman's long hair. Yi Chenfeng did not follow up with another attack. Instead, he looked at her calmly. With his current strength, he only needed one move to kill the blue-clothed woman. The reason why he spared her life was because he did not sense any killing intent from the blue-clothed woman. It was obvious that the blue-clothed woman only attacked to learn from each other and not to kill him. I'll give you one last chance. If you don't admit defeat, then don't blame me for ruthlessly destroying a flower. Yi Chenfeng looked at the pale-faced, blue-clothed woman with lingering fear and reminded her without a trace of emotion. I admit defeat. Although she was unwilling, when she recalled the feeling of death, the blue-clothed woman became timid. The fighting intent in her body disappeared without a trace. She tightly bit her moist lips and admitted defeat. She then jumped off the stage in humiliation. When the green-clothed woman saw that Yi Chenfeng had let the blue-clothed woman go, she heaved a sigh of relief and said gratefully, "Many thanks to young Master Yi for showing mercy. We will definitely repay this kindness. Who else wants to fight?" Yi Chenfeng nodded at the green-clothed woman and withdrew his gaze from her tall and slender body. He stood on the stage with his hands behind his back and said in an overbearing manner, "I'll do it." As soon as Yi Chenfeng's words fell, 7 deep voices sounded out one after another. Every one of them was confident in their strength and coveted the reward of 100,000 killing points. They were all eager to kill Yi Chenfeng and go to the Wu family to claim the reward. I didn't expect that I would be so popular. Since all of you want to kill me, then come at me together. I'll take on all of you. Yi Chenfeng exuded a disdainful aura and said domineeringly, "Are you sure you want to accept the challenge of all 7 of us?" One of them, a gray-robed old man with white hair, a deep aura, and a string of prayer beads around his neck, asked maliciously. He was a peak level 6 mystic beast ancestor. I said, "I'll take on all of you." Yi Chenfeng was fearless and said disdainfully, "Everyone, this Yi Chenfeng's strength is not simple. The best choice is for us to kill him together. After we kill him, we'll split the reward equally. How about it?" The gray-robed old man sneered. His eyes flickered with ruthlessness as he suggested this through voice transmission. Okay, the remaining 6 people quickly communicated with each other. In the end, they agreed to work together to kill Yi Chenfeng and split the killing points equally. They jumped onto the stage and stood in a row in front of Yi Chenfeng. Too arrogant. This Yi Chenfeng is too arrogant. He actually dares to challenge Ghostwalker and the others. Doesn't he know that these people are only a step away from becoming a level 1 reverse beast king? What an arrogant fellow. I thought that this Yi Chenfeng was a character, but I didn't expect him to be a hothead. How disappointing. Each floor of the Slaughter Pagoda was relatively independent. In addition, the matter of the Wu family elder being killed had been deliberately concealed by the Wu family. Thus, there weren't many people on the third floor who knew about Yi Qinfeng's true strength. Seeing Yi Chanfeng challenge 7 experts by himself, the entire arena was abuzz with discussion. Almost no one was optimistic about him. Let's go and kill him quickly. Following the gray-robed old man's roar, the 7 rank 6 mystic beast sect experts attacked at the same time. They fused with their spiritual beasts and used powerful soul skills to attack Yi Qinfeng. 7 powerful soul skills intertwined together, forming a long river of energy. The incomparably fierce energy constantly tore through the air, wanting to destroy Yi Qinfeng. Wrath of Divine Punishment. Yi Qinfeng didn't dodge the 7 people's soul skills at the same time. Instead, the green spiritual fire, ancient profound ice, and purple spiritual lightning surged out of his body at the same time. It was as if the power of divine punishment met the attack. Rumble. A thunderous sound rang out as the powerful energy collided, producing a destructive force. A terrifying energy storm instantly swept across the entire stage. Space distorted, and the entire arena became as bright as day. A large number of cracks spread across the surface of the stage, and the energy barrier around the stage was almost shattered. PFFF. Although the gray-robed old man and the other 6 were powerful, their strength was still far from that of a legendary king. When they were attacked by the wrath of divine punishment, which was enough to kill a legendary king, their soul skills were all shattered. Amidst their shocked cries, the energy storm swept over them like a howling gale, destroying their bodies and instantly killing the 7 of them. Mobile reading site. Book address. In order to make it easier for you to read it next time, you can click on the Save button below to record your reading record. You will be able to see it the next time you open your bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 291. Challenge the King dead, Ghostwalker, and the others are all dead. Killing Ghostwalker and the other 3 in one move. Is this Yi Qinfeng really only a level 3 mystic beast ancestor? After witnessing the scene of Yi Qinfeng shattering the battle arena and instantly killing the gray-robed elder and the other 6 people, everyone present was stunned. They stared at him, flabbergasted, as if they had seen a ghost. Too powerful. Sister, that Yi Qinfeng is clearly only a level 3 mystic beast ancestor. Why is his attack power so terrifying? The blue-clothed woman who was the first to challenge Yi Qinfeng was also stunned by the shocking scene before her eyes. She was somewhat glad that she had retreated in the face of difficulties. Otherwise, if she had angered Yi Qinfeng, she was afraid that she would end up like the gray-clothed old man and the others. I've already reminded you that one's cultivation does not represent one's strength. Although this Yi Qinfeng's cultivation is not high, he already possesses the strength to contend with a peerless king-level existence. Otherwise, the Wu family would not have put out a bounty of 100,000 slaughter points for his life. Fortunately, you didn't enrage him. Otherwise, even Big Sister wouldn't have been able to save you. The green-clothed woman took a deep breath. She suppressed the shock in her heart and said with lingering fear, "Who else wants to fight?" After using the wrath of divine punishment and instantly killing the 7 people, Yi Qinfeng circulated the 8 slaughtering Azura art and absorbed the dense death chi in the air, taking away their belongings. Like an unparalleled god of war, he stood proudly on the shattered arena and said domineeringly, "Let's kill them all." Hearing Yi Qinfeng's loud clamor, no one dared to challenge him. The martial artists who had shown killing intent towards Yi Qinfeng because of the high bounty were so scared that their minds trembled. They didn't dare to look him in the eye and quickly fled the arena. Just as Yi Qinfeng was relying on his absolute strength to intimidate the martial artists on the 3rd floor of the Tower of Slaughter, Yu Nikang also used the Heavenly Demon Dance art to obtain 2 consecutive victories. At the same time, in a luxurious room in the rear hall of the arena. The Wu family Grand Elder and the others witnessed the scene of Yi Chenfeng using the wrath of divine punishment and instantly killing the gray-clothed elder and the others through a crystal that was as smooth as a mirror. Great Elder, we haven't seen each other for a few days. This Yi Chenfeng has become even stronger. If we allow him to continue growing, I'm afraid he will really become a nightmare for our Wu family. The third elder of the Wu family frowned as he spoke. He was dressed in a dark blue robe with cloud patterns. He sensed a strong aura of danger from Yi Chenfeng. Of course, I know that he will be a great threat to my Wu clan. However, he is on the 3rd floor of the Tower of Slaughter, while the Patriarch and I are on the 7th floor. We cannot kill him without restraint. Thinking about how the Tower of Massacre strictly forbade killing people above the level, Grand Elder Wu felt a sense of helplessness. Continue to increase the bounty. Whoever can kill him will be rewarded with 300,000 slaughter points by my Wu family. Great Elder Wu helplessly sighed. He could only increase the bounty to deal with Yi Chenfeng. Sir Yi, no one dares to challenge you today. How about you come and fight again tomorrow? Yi Chenfeng straightened his back and stood on the stage filled with the thick stench of blood. He waited for the time it took for a stick of incense to burn, but no one dared to challenge him. Helpless, a middle-aged woman with a voluptuous figure wearing a fiery red dress and a thick layer of makeup on her face walked out and said politely, "Let me challenge you." "That's good. Once my friend's match is over, we will leave." Yi Chenfeng also knew that the scene of him using the wrath of divine retribution to instantly kill the gray-clothed old man and the others was far too shocking. Today, no one would challenge him. He patiently waited outside for Yu Nichong's match. "Sir Yi, do you have time? Us 2 sisters would like to invite you to a meal to thank you for showing mercy to Yu. As Yi Chenfeng was waiting for Yu Nichong, the green-clothed woman walked over by herself. She looked at his cold face and sweetly smiled as she softly asked, "My time is limited. There's no need for a meal." Yi Chenfeng glanced at the green-clothed woman with a tall figure and fair skin. She had a faint smile on her delicate face. He gently shook his head and tactfully declined. In the perilous Tower of Slaughter, there were many people who wanted his life. Yi Chenfeng didn't want to waste any unnecessary time. He also didn't want to have any connection with the green-clothed woman. "Since it's like this, we won't delay Sir Ye's time. Please keep this jade slip well. It might be useful to you." Hearing Yi Chenfeng's refusal, the green-clothed woman who wanted to befriend him revealed a trace of disappointment. However, she didn't insist. She gave a precious jade slip to Yi Chenfeng and turned to leave. Jade slip. Looking at the jade slip handed over by the green-clothed woman, Yi Chenfeng frowned. He hesitated for a moment before releasing his soul force to examine the jade slip. This jade slip records a detailed introduction of the Tower of Slaughter from the 1st to the 6th floor. Yi Chenfeng raised his eyebrows. He didn't expect the jade slip given to him by the green-clothed woman to be so precious. He quickly browsed through it. So the fastest way to pass the Tower of Slaughter is to challenge the king of each floor. As long as you defeat the king of each floor, you can directly obtain all the slaughter points on that floor and have the qualifications to ascend to the next floor. As he browsed through the jade slip, Yi Chenfeng obtained an important piece of information from the jade slip. This jade slip even has an introduction of the king of each floor. The king of the 3rd floor is called Lionhua. He's a peak level 6 profound beast sect expert with half a demonic beast bloodline. The king of the 4th floor is Sun Lei, a level 1 defiant beast king who attacked me before. The king of the 5th floor is an eternal enemy, a peak level 1 defiant beast king, the blood-slaughtering sword king. The king of the 6th floor is actually a mature level 4 heavenly beast dragon sparrow with the ability to transform. A mature level 4 heavenly beast is comparable to a peak level 2 defiant beast king. It's really hard to imagine what kind of strength the kings of the 7th to 10th floors of the Tower of Slaughter have. Yi Chenfeng muttered to himself. After understanding the strength of the kings of the 6th floor and below, Yi Chenfeng was shocked by the overall strength of the Tower of Slaughter. Strength. I need to increase my strength as soon as possible. Otherwise, the 5th floor of the Tower of Slaughter will be my limit. Furthermore, with the Wu family's high bounty, my life could be in danger at any time. Yi Chenfeng took a deep breath and decided to himself. Yes, in 3 days, the 5th floor of the Tower of Slaughter will hold an auction for the cultivators of the 5th floor. After browsing to the end, Yi Chenfeng obtained another important piece of information and revealed a strong interest. However, as he was on the 3rd floor of the Tower of Slaughter, he would only have the qualifications to participate in the auction if he reached the 5th floor. Looks like I have to hurry up and challenge the Tower of Slaughter. Otherwise, I will miss the auction for the 5th floor of the Tower of Slaughter, Yi Chenfeng said in his heart. About 2 hours later, Yu Nikhang, who had used the dancing heavenly demonic art and was covered in demonic qi, defeated her opponent with an overwhelming advantage, obtaining 4 consecutive victories. After 4 consecutive victories, no one dared to challenge her again. In the end, Yu Nikhang also ended the day early. I want to challenge the Lion Fire King tomorrow. I wonder if you can help me arrange it? Before leaving, Yi Chenfeng found the person in charge of the arena, the voluptuous red-dressed woman, and asked, "Young Master Yi, are you sure you want to challenge the Lion Fire King? With half of his demonic beast blood, his battle prowess is comparable to a peerless king." The red-dressed woman asked with some surprise, "I'm sure. I'll have to trouble you to arrange it." Yi Chenfeng nodded and said, "All right then. Since young Master Yi has made up his mind, my arena will arrange it for young Master Yi as soon as possible. We'll inform you when the time is right," the red-dressed woman said with a nod as she looked at Yi Chenfeng's arrogant face and thought of his astonishing battle prowess. Yi Chenfeng nodded. He didn't stay for long and left the battle arena with Yu Nikhang. Mobile reading website, book address. For the convenience of your next reading, you can click on the Say button at the bottom to record your reading history. You will be able to see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support.